Bootcamp, Wholesaling, Fix and Flip, and Rentals. So welcome. I'm super excited to have the top key players in the industry online right now. So it's super incredible. I'm so happy, so thankful, and blessed to share this stage with all of you today. So I would like to introduce you all. So we're going to start with our mentors. Without them, we wouldn't exist. Okay, so these are people that I look up to. Not only that, but these are people who've been in the business for over 20 years, and they have helped shape everything we do in real estate, including ChicagoDealVault. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our members. So we have Andrew Holmes. He's gonna join a little bit later. From Chicago RIA, we have Rahul Vishal, CFO of Chicago RIA, and then Frank Montrose from Keller Williams. So Frank, if you have a couple of words to say to the audience.
Yeah, sure, fine. Hey, everybody. Yeah, so if those of you that don't know me or do know me, friendly reminder, yeah, I'm a real estate broker. I specialize with working with investors, buying the buy, hold, and the buy, flip. And I basically have everything from 0 to 100, from cradle to grave. So I can help you with properties, and I can help you with contractors, and I can help you with the exit strategy, whether it's getting tenants or finding a homeowner and getting your highest ROI in the shortest period of time. That being said, the market has shifted, obviously, and even without the COVID-19, the market is going through a shift where there's not a lot of inventory. So I've turned my cruise ship, so to speak, and we're focusing on off-market properties. So a lot of my systems in place now are guided toward that. So I get inventory on a regular basis. So if you're interested, feel free to give me a call or text me at 708-307-0777, 708-307-0777. Now, I do want to say this much. Even with this COVID and even with the rioting and the marches and the peaceful demonstrations and the unpeaceful demonstrations, even with everything going on, I believe that the market will recover. Now, the reason why I believe that is not because I've been reading articles or because I'm taking wild guesses. It's because I've been in business since 1983, and I've been through 5 major shifts and a gazillion micro shifts. And my business is built to withstand those types of shifts. And let me say this much: there's going to be a rebound. The market actually is very strong now, and the reason why the market is strong and will remain strong for a while is because inventory is low, and because there is a constant with that. That is going to keep the prices up, and that's going to make properties sell quickly. Now, there is no end in sight right now with that. And there's going to be no, I don't believe there's going to be a flooding of properties in the market. I believe that there is going to be a huge increase, and there's going to be a pent up from all the foreclosures that are sitting right now. So yeah, there's going to be a short-term pent up, but there's not going to be anything, once we get through that blast, so definitely be looking for that. But there's no doubt, if you guys are inventory poor right now, feel free to reach out to me and we can have a conversation. And one thing you need to understand is that first of all, I'm not easy to get a hold of. And second of all, I get up extremely early in the morning. Well, maybe it's not extremely early for a lot of you, but for some of you, but it is probably for the average person. I get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm available then. And I prefer to talk early in the morning because I get pretty swamped, and I get in a lot of meetings, such as this one. And so it's difficult for me to answer calls. It's probably easier for me to answer a text than it is a call, if it's going to be during the day. So feel free to do that. I do have a full team that have been trained by me personally, and they know how to get things done on a high level. They're all about results. So I'm here to help. I'll be glad to help you grow your business, and whatever you need, I have the whatever resource you need, I have it. I can definitely help you with that. Of course, I need to make a living, so I'm not a, I do want to make. I'm not a library. There's some people that call me up and say, "Hey, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, I need that." I have to make a living too. I got to keep my lights and gas on just like anybody else. So if you're interested in creating a relationship, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you on that, and we can figure it out. And I wanted to thank Hugo for this opportunity. I'm a big supporter of ChicagoDealVault. I've been in with Hugo in the inception. I helped him with ideas on how to make the website more user-friendly for investors and for realtors. And I think it's an amazing site. If you're not a member of DealVault, to me, it is the best website out there for investors, for realtors. There's really nothing like it. There's other things out there that are very popular that do a fraction of what a DealVault does. So I'm very proud of what I've contributed, and I feel like it's really a second to none website. And for you new people out here, you're in for a treat, because you got a lot of big swingers out here. So I guess swingers is probably not a good term, but whatever. You got a lot of big players out here like Gary Davidson, that closes about 1,500 transactions a year. Absolutely the top attorney in the industry when it comes to working with investors. I mean, nobody has the knowledge base or the connections that he has. He's a beast. There's a lot of great attorneys out there. I'm not discounting other attorneys, but he has that experience, and that's basically what separates people like me and him. I have 30. Geez, I'm been so long, I'm forgetting now. Almost 38. Coming up in the end of June, 38 years of experience. You can give us a property on the South Side, and my partner will tell you exactly what's on the block. And Gary can back that up, because he's done that once with an investor. Our experience is second to none. A third of my clients are realtors. They list their homes with me because they know how difficult it is to navigate in the Chicagoland area, especially the South Side and the South suburbs. So they rely on me. They figure it costs a lot less to list a house with me than it does to gamble on whether they're buying the right house, putting the right dollar amount of work in, choosing the right contractor, all of the above. So if you're looking for help in that area, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to. Did you want me to answer any questions now, Hugo? Or
no, we're going to leave the questions till the end. Thank you very much, Frank. I greatly appreciate it.
I've got to run. So I've got to run. So you guys have my number.
Yes.
708-307-0777. I wish I could stay, because you got so many great people on here. Dan Clarton, Juan, Vince, all these, all the wealth of knowledge in here. DealVault, in addition to DealVault, Andrew and that whole cast is coming out. Wow, I mean, it's kind of a who's who. It's like this is like a mini version of the 3-day. So kudos to you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Frank. I greatly appreciate it for joining.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Frank.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, hey, one last thing. Sorry.
Next,
one last thing, Debbie.
We have Gary. Yes.
Yes, I am on the South Side.
You ready for me?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, he's called the King of the South with over 17 brokers. Okay, ready. Gary Davidson, number one. Pleasure to have you online, Gary. Thank you for joining. If you want to share some words to
Thanks
the
so much,
audience.
Hugo. Thanks so much. Well, I'll try to make up for lost time. That's Frank's definition of a few minutes, and you're never going to get less than 15 minutes out of Frank. But the great thing is he provides a tremendous amount of value. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes, a true couple of minutes. I want to just give everybody the inside edge on how you can be one of the panelists, one of the top people in the industry, and what are the common themes about people like Frank, Vince, Dan, and Juan. And that is a go-giver mentality. If you wake up every morning and you focus on assisting 10 key strategic relationships, and you don't engage in a self-serving way where you sit there and you just try to help yourself, but rather you focus on helping other people create that life worth living, that career worth having, that business worth owning, that is how you're going to achieve exponential success. That's how I've done it. I have asked people in all these different groups, Chicago RIA, all your different organizations, and I feel very, very humbled. And I say, why did you choose me? Why did you choose me as your lawyer? And people will say to me, because there are other attorneys that these groups promote, but there is only one attorney that the following phrase will be used in front of, and that's Chicago's #1 attorney for investors. Because there's only one #1, and that's what all of you should be trying to achieve. That's why I'm very proud to be the exclusive attorney for ChicagoDealVault. That's why I'm very proud that Vince Pace recommends me to all of his clients. Frank Montrow, I do want lawyers deals. I don't know what Dan's problem is, but we'll work on him. Guys, I am here to help you. I want to focus on your business. I've got a very big law firm. I've been very blessed. I praise God every day that I've had the opportunity to give to other people. But at this point in my career, I have 14 attorneys that focus on the do, 30 staff people that focus on the do. And what I like to focus and help people that I encounter is on the be. Because everybody can do, but very few people can actually be. So get your mind right, focus. Now is a tremendous opportunity. For those of you who listened to Hugo's seminar the other day where I spoke, I believe this wholeheartedly. And that is Warren Buffett sees opportunities. Right now, everybody is not fishing around the pond. Everyone's scared. So what happens? There's a lot more opportunity because there's a lot less fishermen. So if I can assist you, if I can connect you to a guy like Vince, if Frank doesn't return your phone call, I can guarantee you one thing. Frank will return my phone call, and I'll get him to call you, and I'll put you in the place with his team. That's why I'm Frank's exclusive attorney. You're going to be very blessed to hear from guys like Dan, Vince, Juan. These guys are titans. Good luck with your seminar today. If I can do anything to help any one of you, we have to have a passion. We have to work on what lights us up and pays us well at the same time. Real estate investing is my passion, and helping people is my passion. So Hugo, thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you, Gary. And then Gary has helped us tremendously. He's given us all the legal documents that we are sharing with you today, and also through ChicagoDealVault. They come from Castle Law. Okay, thank you, Gary. Next, we have Dan Carlton, the top wholesaler in Illinois. So thank you for joining, Dan, with investor's title. So if you can give us a few words, Dan.
Here, let me get off mute. I'm outside here. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Hugo.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I have to tell you, I mean, just to piggyback just quickly on some of the things the other guys said already, that nationally, there's so many softwares and things that people are promoting constantly. What makes ChicagoDealVault so awesome is that I don't know any other market that has a specific software that's dialed in to the needs of the local investor. Real estate is a local game. For those of you that don't know, when you're doing deals in the city, it's block by block, right? It's not subdivision driven like neighborhoods in the suburbs. And what's going on in the local Chicagoland market isn't the same as that's going on in Phoenix and all the place where, a lot of these, guru types are operating out of. And so that's why it's important to get dialed in with what you're doing and what you offer, because the tools, you're only going to be as good as the tools that you have, at your fingertips. And ChicagoDealVault has really been a driving force behind a lot of the stuff we're doing. For those of you that don't know, my business partner is Joe Mueller. We are multifaceted here in the Chicago area. We work primarily up in the northwest suburbs, but we hold rental properties. We, do fix and flips. Of course, we do a bunch of wholesale deals. We actually have 5 deals looking to close next week. So I think what you'll find for the aspiring wholesalers, if you're working the off-market properties at this time, we're finding that it's at this time, it's becoming easier to get properties, because the consumer public is always a little bit behind what's actually happening. And to Frank's point, the inventory is low, which means things are moving, but the consumer public is pretty sure that if they, and again, we don't buy houses from people that want to sell their house. We buy houses from people that need to sell their house, and there's a big difference. But there's one thing I think that even the people that need to sell their house can get their arms around, and that's on the back end of this COVID situation that we're experiencing right now, that the house they own is not going to be worth more money. Nobody's expecting a 10 or 20% boost between now and Labor Day. So at best, it's going to be stable, and at worst, it's going to be worth less. And so for people that need to sell and they need money and they need to do it quickly, now is the time where we're able to offer them the most money that we possibly can. Because when the market changes differently in 3 or 4 months or 6 months, then we're going to have to offer less. So the best money is the now money, and a lot of sellers are buying into that. Joe owns Tanis Group Realty, has a bunch of brokers working for him, was a behemoth in the REO days, has moved, still does some of that, but has moved away from that a little bit to focus on a lot of the things that we're doing together. And, and then the side thing is for the aspiring wholesalers, Joe and I are in the trenches and we do this every day. And to Gary's point, it's been my experience in life that the window you give through seems to be the window you get through. So we go out of our way to try to come alongside people, answer questions, help evaluate properties. We're more than happy to joint venture on deals with people because, finding deals is tough enough. And then what happens a lot of times when people are new is all their marketing efforts and all their effort to go get a new property under contract comes to a complete halt because now they're focusing on trying to find a buyer. And when you're new and you don't have solid buyers, things, can go a little slower. So we're happy to come alongside, talk about your sellers, talk about strategies on what to say to them, and more importantly, how to say it to them in order to get them to work along with you instead of against you. Like I said, we're happy to JV on opportunities and help you find buyers and navigate the closing. A couple years ago, Joe and I started Investors Title Services, and it's kind of the idea that it's the title company that's for investors by investors. So we understand what it is you're doing in these off-market wholesale and double close type transactions. We facilitate those deals. In any aspect of your business, when you're doing flips in particular, you're trying to make these deals as profitable as possible. And the ways to do that are to get cheaper labor that will still do the quality work that you need. Try to work and find cheaper suppliers, whether it be granite, countertops, carpeting. I mean, we're getting carpeting laid right now from Home Depot at $1.75 a square foot installed. I mean, the consumer public isn't involved in those kind of deals. And despite where we might have got carpeting in the past, that's where we're getting it right now. And it's saving a lot of money. And so, you know, when it comes to closing your deals, that's another area that if you can tighten that up, it can make your deals more profitable. So we work alongside investors. We get the closing costs in line to what they should be. And, you know, I'm all about a $60 ribeye at Gibson's versus an $18 hamburger at Gibson's, because you're getting a lot more beef and a better cut. But there isn't any reason to pay more if you're not getting more. So we're happy to come alongside you on that side of it. I think Hugo has my information there somewhere, but
Yeah,
my direct number is 847-910-0454. And for those of you that are, you know, looking for deals, and if you don't happen to be on our buyers list, you might want to get on that. And that's easy to do by texting in. Text the number 22828. That's the number you're texting to. And the word to put in the line is reinvest. So text reinvest to 22828, and it'll walk you through how to get on our buyers list. So you'll be aware of properties that we send out. Thanks, Hugo.
Thank you, Dan.
I'm going to have to run
Okay,
shortly.
so let's
because I'm
continue.
going
As
to
Dan
see a
said,
property.
Joe Mueller, Top Are Your Broker. They're both partners. Okay, sounds good, Dan. Thank you very much for joining. So Joe Mueller, Top Are Your Broker. And then we're going to come with our sponsor. So we have Juan Lloyd on the line. Go ahead, Juan. Welcome. He's from Homebridge.
Hi, Hugo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on. I love DealVault and love all your panelists. Hard to be the guy to follow Frank and Gary and Dan, but I'll do my best here. So I am a residential mortgage lender. Again, my name is Juan Loya with Homebridge Financial. I am a residential lender that I focus on helping people finance their personal residence, the house that they live in. Many times new investors might consider a cash out refinance or a debt consolidation, kind of get them set properly. And then as folks are out there, you know, doing a buy, fix, and rent strategy, I get involved in helping them do a takeout loan to recapitalize, get their initial investment, as much of their initial investment out of that transaction so that they can go and do it again. And not only am I a residential lender, but I'm also an investor myself. So I was able to follow this same strategy. And in about a year and a half, I was able to build, using the tools that we have through the ChicagoDealVault, I was able to create a portfolio of 20 properties within about a year and a half. So I know the strategy can work because I did it myself. You know, I've surrounded myself with the best people that I could, with guys like you, Hugo, with guys like Frank Montrow, Gary Davidson, you know, obviously Andrew and Rahul have been great mentors for me. But again, this is a fantastic club that we've put together. And, you know, it's really, you know, as Gary says, it's, you know, really how can we help other people achieve their goals, and our dreams are coming true in doing the same thing. So I appreciate you having me on here. And as always, best way you can either call or text me at 708-945-6424. And really for all of your residential mortgage needs, or if you really just want to, you know, I love talking about real estate investing, and I love talking about financing. So if I'm not the right solution, I'll definitely put you in touch with the right commercial lender or private money lender. You know, again, there's a lot of different ways to get this done. But this is awesome. Hugo, as always, I congratulate you on all your success because you're doing a fantastic job in putting these resources together. And I thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Juan. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for joining. So for all your conventional lending needs, Homebridge, Juan Loye, we have his contact information online. Let's move on. So now we have Nancy.
And one last thing, Hugo.
From,
each one of these gray whiskers, yes. Each one of these gray whiskers is one little bit of experience that I've gained along the way.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Juan. Nancy, are you on the line? Okay, so for Harmony Lender, Nancy Villacorta from Chicago Funding. Then we have George from First Advantage Home Inspection. George, are you on the line? I didn't see you on the line. Yeah, so if you come, you're on the line? Perfect. Yep. So welcome, George.
I almost forgot about you, Hugo. Sorry.
No worries. So if you have a couple of minutes to share what you do, how you can add value to people, that would be awesome.
Okay. My name is George Wyatt. My wife and I are...
Go ahead, George.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. Hear you.
Okay. All right.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My wife and I own First Advantage Home Inspection. Like Juan said, I'm also an investor, and I met Hugo through this network. So thanks, Hugo, for having us on. We are a home inspection company. We are investing also, so we know kind of what to look for. We help newer investors and seasoned investors do home inspections on properties that they're thinking about buying. We're trying to make sure that they're not going to make a mistake. We also help them align their budget. Sometimes the budgets that with the scope of work, it just doesn't match up. So we try to help you with your scope of work. We try to help you with what we think the budget should be, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I was always a big, before I met Andrew and Raul, I used to over-improve everything. So we try to help you with that. But the biggest thing is a lot of people are nervous in the beginning. They don't know what they don't know, and we just don't want you to be one and done. So basically what that means is you buy a house that you're going to be 20, 30,000 over budget. It's not a good house for you. We try to talk you out of it. Doesn't always work. Not everybody listens, but we have a couple different kinds of inspections. I have one where I'll walk with you. You could ask as many questions as you want. It's still a full inspection, but we don't do a report. That's a little bit cheaper. Then if you decide you want a report, we always suggest that for the newer people so they can go back through the summary of all the defects. Sometimes you could use that to go back to the bank to get a price reduction. But like I said, we're investors, we're buying rentals, we're still doing flips, used to build new construction. So I know a little bit about construction. So feel free to reach out to me once you get the house under contract. You typically have 5 days to do your inspection. So the sooner that you know, the better, and we'll be happy to work with you.
Perfect. Thank you, George. Appreciate you joining.
No problem.
Okay, so now we have Gina Diaz. Gina, you're on the line? Okay, so she might not be on the line. Desiree Wilson from Fidelity. Are you on the line, Desiree? Okay, Title Services, Fidelity. And then we have Vince on the line. Welcome, Vince. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you.
So if you can give us a few words.
Sure. So we provide capital to real estate investors, pretty much in the form of loans. On occasionally, we do other sorts of deals too, but by and large, we're doing loans. We get most of our money through hedge funds and private funds. I'd say 9 out of 10 deals at least are funded through those mechanisms, and the rest we get through a variety of other sources. But bottom line is, if you need capital for any sort of real estate investment, give me a call. We fund fix and flips all day long. We do long-term rentals, and we can do a lot weirder stuff too. I mean, we funded a land deal in Tulsa, Oklahoma a month or two back. We did transactional funding on a self-storage wholesale deal this past week. So we've got a lot of interesting things going on, and we can be the one that lets you sort of grow. On the other end, I'd say if you're one of those out there who's lending capital, we can actually help you with that too. We've got obviously no end of deals in front of us, so we can help you connect places for you to deploy, or we can put you in some of our higher yielding deals that might be more interesting than the average fix and flip deal. But I'd say bottom line, if you guys need capital, we're going to have some of the most competitive in the market at any time. One of the things about us is the diversity of capital sources that we use. So I think a lot of you on this call, I'm sure, faced the capital crunch that happened at the end of March when COVID really started taking place. We were blessed in that we didn't have to stop funding at all during that period. Now, we did have our terms tightened up, so there were some deals that no longer worked with the new terms, but we didn't have to shut down. I mean, there's places that have shut down, are still shut down. There's places that shut down for a few weeks, and there's places that frankly are going to probably shut down forever from what happened. But we're going to be here. We're going to be able to get, no matter what deal you put in front of us, done. Pretty much. I mean, if the deal works, we'll be able to get it done. I'd say if there's capital in the market, we're going to be able to find it for you. We can work with new investors and everything up from that. So if you need anything, yeah, I mean, you probably see my contact info on the screen right there. You can get me at info@Albeca. My email direct is going to be vincent.pace, but info@Albeca will get to where it needs to go to. So call us for any of your financial needs.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Vince. Okay, so next we have Patrick Noon from PJN Tax Solutions. Welcome, Patrick.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Hugo, for the invitation. Just a quick little bio on myself. Graduated from DePaul in downtown Chicago in '81. Passed the CPA exam in '83. And so I've been doing taxes now for about 40 years and finally starting to get the hang of it. What we do is we have two firms, a tax preparation and a tax resolution firm. The tax preparation firm, last year we probably did a little more than 300 returns, and I'd say about 200 of those were individuals. The other 100 were businesses. S Corp, C Corp, Partnership, LLC, which I believe Hugo is going to talk about shortly. We also work with people, we call ourselves the Rescue Squad for Troubled Taxpayers, whereby we work with people that are either behind in filing with the IRS or they have a large outstanding balance due and can't write one check to make the IRS go away. Just this past week, we were able to help a new client. The IRS wanted $2,400 in penalties because of his failure to file his business return timely. And through a little known exception that most taxpayers don't know about, we were able to have the entire $2,400 removed. So he was very happy for that. I don't know if you can see it or not. My business card is in the contact information. And our little company tagline is, call us when you want the IRS off of your ASS. So I don't use landlines, only go with cells. So if you need to, you can either call or text 630-415-5296, or the website is pjntaxsolutions.com. But if you would, take a picture of the screenshot of myself. That's got all my contact information. And I do a lot. I've been doing a lot with Andrew and Raul and Hugo. I work with Lori and Farah and Gina, and do quite a bit for members, students of the group. So if you need any assistance either in preparing returns or, like I say, getting out of hot water with the IRS, my office is in St. Charles. It's a western suburb. We're still working 7 days a week. As a matter of fact, I was able to knock out a couple tax returns before today's meeting. So You know, if the weekend works better for you, you know, we'd be glad to meet with you then as well. Thank you, Hugo.
Thank you, Patrick, for joining. Okay, so next, okay, Viara and Rich from Cool and Heat Cooling. Are you online, Viara? Okay, she's not online. So friends, this is our team. 3 of them are online, Natalia, Phil, Lovely. So these are the people behind DealVault. These are the core people full-time who make everything happen, okay, behind the scenes. So thank you, Natalia, Phil, Lovely, everyone on the team. You've done an incredible work. I'm so proud of you. And without you, we wouldn't be here today. So thanks a lot. So guys, let's get started. So quick disclaimer. So we're gonna share our strategies, okay? So we're not providing any financial legal advice. So this is what we're gonna share today, what's made us successful, okay? So we're gonna give you a mental break every 10 minutes, like the TED Talks. We're gonna do speed networking. So I'm gonna break you out in rooms so you can network with each other for a few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, so it is so critical for you to network, and we're gonna send you this via the chat. So this is how you need to network with people. You're gonna go straight to the point because you won't have much time, okay? So you need to share what counties you invest. We're gonna share this document with you in just a second. We need to know, you need to share what strategies we're thinking of for real estate exits. So you either have a flip, rentals, or wholesales, and then what is it that you lack? And what is it that you bring to the table? And then it's optional if you wanna share your contact information. Okay, so having said that, let me go back to this. I'm gonna share this through the chat so that you can, when we break out into rooms, you have this available. Okay, so right here. Perfect, so now, let me go back to the PowerPoint. So when we go through the PowerPoint, you're gonna see these icons on the handouts, either the Blue Angel or the Lamborghini Blue Angel. So if it only has the Blue Angel, that means that it's only available for yearly members. If it has both icons, the Lamborghini and the Blue Angel, it's available to all our members. Okay, so now let's get started. So are you guys ready to change your life? Huh? Perfect, so I get a lot of yeses. Perfect, so if you stay until the end, we're gonna give you a great gift. So please make sure that you stay in the line. Guys, my guess is that there are 2 types of people on the line tonight. So we have the dabblers and the doers. So dabblers, listen to this. So dabblers, they love to see, listen, learn, but guess what? They find every possible excuse to not move forward. While the doers, they don't know how it's gonna work out for them this afternoon, but they know how it's worked for all of us, how it's been successful for us, and they have faith that it's gonna work out for them. So what we figure out is that doers are the ones who get ahead in life, while dabblers, they don't really seem to progress. But this is the great news, guys. So today you have a choice. Which one would you rather be? A dabbler or a doer? I hope you choose a doer, okay? So let's dive into this. How many of you would like to be more successful in the near future than you've been in the past? Raise your hand. How many of you would like to have more happiness and joy in your life? I'm sure all of you, right? And how many of you would like to make more money in the near future than you've made in the past? All of us, right? That is why we're here. Good, I see a lot of hands raising. So my goal today is to blow your mind, okay? We're gonna give you the blueprint of freedom today. And you may wonder why we do that. The reason why we do that is because I was in your shoes about 2.5 years ago. And we cracked the code of what it takes to become successful in real estate. So we wanna give back to the investors community. That is why we're giving you the blueprint of success today. So I'm gonna share 3 things with you tonight. So number 1 is my story. Number 2, we're gonna give you the blueprint of success. And finally, we're gonna share the 3 keys for you to getting off to a fast start, okay? So now let's get started. So we're gonna start with who this works for. So this works for pretty much everyone, newbies, seasoned wholesalers, flippers, investors, everyone who wants to build $1 million empire with rentals. So the first thing that I told you I was going to share with you is my story. So my ultimate desire was to provide for my family, for my 3 daughters to be proud of me, to have somebody to look up to. Unfortunately, that didn't happen that well. About 2.5 years ago, we knew, my wife and I wanted to be in real estate. So we bought a rental in a bad neighborhood. We overpaid for the property. We hired the worst contractor, and we put the wrong tenant in there. We never collected a single payment. We had to do an eviction. So you can imagine, right? It went pretty bad. And then the second flip we tried to do, we bought it in Glenview. And guess what? It had 5 sump pumps in the backyard. So you can imagine what type of property that was, or the location of it. So we couldn't sell it. We put a lot more money what we needed to for the rehab. So it was kind of a big disaster. Now it doesn't cash flow. So that, as you can imagine, I was not feeling good. I was very disappointed. I was upset, because I mean, real estate is not for me, right? I think we should call it quits. And then something bad happened. 2 years ago, I lost my full-time job, which meant I could not support my family. So I quickly fell behind my bills. Fortunately, my wife felt depressed because I was supposed to be the man in the relationship, and I couldn't support my family. So I just didn't want to know at that point anything about real estate. And then one day my wife came up to me and she said, "Hey, Hugo, I got a couple of tickets for an event." I was, whoa. So I thought we're going to go to a concert or something, but no, it was not a concert. It was a real estate 3-day event organized by Chicago REIA, Andrew Holmes. So I was like, you've got to be kidding. Real estate is not for us. We shouldn't go to this event. So she dragged me to the event. So we ended up going to this event. So at this event, as some of you have seen, if you've been there, Andrew Holmes brings very successful people. They were doing deals after deals after deals, flips, wholesales, like the light at the end of the tunnel. I was determined to figure out what those successful people had in common. So we cracked the code, okay? So we figure out what most successful investors had. And guess what? They have 3 things in common. Number 1, they have a great deal. Number 2, they understand basic analysis. Number 3, they have funding. But guess what? They have funding because they have a great deal. So what we did is we took 6 to 8 investors who had done at least 100 transactions a year, who had done it consistently for the past 5 to 10 years, and who had made money in up and down cycles. So what we did is we tapped into their knowledge and wisdom, and we created a state-of-the-art real estate automation solution, nowadays called ChicagoDealVault, okay? But that's not it, friends. The end result has been that we've done 27 rentals in the last 2.5 years, cash flowing about $400 per month per door, okay? And the end transformation in our life has been that we're doing what's truly meaningful in our life. So we will never ever miss a single highlight of our loved ones again. In fact, we've been in Mexico City for the last 2 months, a little bit over 2 months. We've been traveling. We've been spending a lot of family time together. So guys, but it's not about me. Imagine, what would you do with that extra income per month, per door? What would you do with that extra time, right? What would your family members think of you? That is why today I'm going to give you the ultimate freedom blueprint. Because let me tell you something, living a life without freedom is not a life. It is that simple, right? So I want to make sure that all of you achieve freedom of time and financial freedom. Most importantly, freedom of time, friends, so that you're able to do what you want when you want it. So let's get started, and then we're going to cover fundamentals. So these are the fundamentals that we're going to cover. So we're gonna cover understanding your cash flow, setting up your business, opening up a bank account, applying for business credit cards, and then applying for a line of credit. So let's start with understanding cash flow. This is going to be one of the most important. We're going to talk about income, expenses, assets, liabilities, and cash flows. Because guess what? Most people do not understand these concepts. And most importantly, I'm going to tell you what the 1% of the wealthy people do. And not only that, I'm going to explain to you why the rich becomes richer and the poor becomes poorer. Okay, it's very, very simple. So think about this, right? So you have a job, so you are in the typical rat race where you get up, go to work, get some dinner, go back to bed, and then you do this all over again, right? So you're in a rat trap. Not only that, friends, but most of you went to school for 16 years, right? And did they ever teach you how to become financially free? Did they ever show you how to have freedom of time in life? No, we were brainwashed to go to school, get a job, buy a house, buy a car, get married, have kids, right? That's the rat trap, right? So I'm gonna show you how we are gonna be able to get out of it and still have freedom of time and financial freedom, okay? So not only that, but guess what? People are expected to work 40, 60 hours. And it gets worse. Uncle Sam, IRS, taps into your income. That's right. It's called taxes. So when you have a job, what happens next? You pay taxes. So this is how the poor become poorer, okay? Not only are you working yourself 40 to 60 hours, right, to barely make it. So most people are living paycheck to paycheck, okay? And on top of that, the government takes a big chunk of it, 20 to 40%. That is not fair, okay? So now middle class is getting a little bit more sophisticated. Okay, what are they doing more sophisticated? They're buying what they think it's called assets, right? So they buy a house, but this is the problem. This is what they do not understand. Why did we put the house under the liabilities? Very simple. Because when you buy a liability, that means that money is going to come out of your pocket. So it's going to go into the expenses bucket. So a house where you live will trigger expenses like the mortgage, the taxes, okay? So now, let me show you what the wealthy does, okay? They don't buy, it's the same thing, it's the house. Why are you putting that in the assets? Let me tell you why. Because the type of assets they buy will generate income, meaning it's gonna increase their cash flow, okay? Not only that, but I'm gonna tell you what the wealthy do that most people don't. They only master two things. They understand debt and taxes, okay? That is how they become wealthier. So what do you mean by debt? I thought debt is bad and most people were brainwashed to get out of debt. Well, you have bad debt and good debt. So the wealthy use debt to buy houses, to buy assets. Why is that a good debt? Because they don't pay for the debt. Guess who pays for the debts? Tenants. Tenants pay for the debt. Not only that, but also tenants contribute to the income and cash flow of the wealthy. Not only that, it gets better. Wealthy people, if they make 100,000 in profit, guess how much they're gonna keep? You guessed it right. They're gonna keep 100,000. Okay, so they pay very little in taxes. Why is that? Because when you have rentals, properties, one of the biggest tax benefits is depreciation. Not only that, but when you buy your properties under an entity, you can write off a lot of expenses. So between all these write-offs and depreciation, guess what? You pay very, very little taxes. And this is done, they do it in a moral, legal, and ethical way. And we've proven this. I'm not kidding you. We pay less than $3,000 in taxes for 2019, okay? Let me give you another example, like a vehicle, right? So a vehicle is gonna fall under the liabilities, right? Because it's gonna trigger expense. But look what the wealthy will do. They're gonna buy a fleet of taxis that are going to generate income and therefore increasing their cash flow. So the bottom line, friends, is that you need to invest in appreciating assets like properties, houses, vehicles or trucks. There are assets, but guess what? They're depreciating assets. What it means is that they lose value over time. The minute you drive off a car off the parking lot, it has lost 20, 30% in value versus a house. So the wealthy, not only are they increasing their income, their cash flow, but they're also increasing their net worth. Why? Because over time, property prices go up. Therefore, the net worth is going to go up. So I just want to make sure that you understand where the money goes and how it flows and what the successful people and rich do. So guys, we have to get into the habit of buying appreciating assets, which is what I'm going to show you today. So are you all getting this? Because this is so critical. Are you all getting this? Perfect. Awesome. So I hear a lot of yeses. So now let's dive into it. So ordinary and passive income. So on the left, we have the short-term ordinary income. And then on the right-hand side, we have the passive income. So you obviously want to be on the passive income side, okay? On the left, we have the flippers, the wholesalers, contractors, which means that if they stop working, guess what? The income goes down to zero and they're not building a net worth versus owning rentals. It's a long-term investment where you're getting passive income. So I'm going to show you how that works. This is from Robert Kiyosaki, the cash flow quadrant. I'm going to show you how it works. Most people are employees, right? So they have a job. But this is what I was telling you. This is the rat trap. You have a job. You're running on the treadmill. If you stop running, everything goes down the pipe. The second one is the self-employed. Now, you don't have a job, you own a job, right? Which gets a little bit worse because you're working even harder. Examples of that are like contractors, flippers, wholesalers. So let's go over to the third quadrant, business owners. At this point, you have a system. You're leveraging from other people's money, other people's time, but it's a little bit expensive to get into this type of already turnkey business such as franchises. Okay, so now this is the quadrant where all of you need to be. You need to become an investor, owning assets, rentals, where you make money work for you in a sense that tenants are gonna be paying for the debt, the good debt, and they're gonna be putting cash flow in your pocket. Does that make sense? Not only that, over time, you're gonna increase your net worth because property values will rise, okay? So this is where you wanna be. I just wanted to show you a different mindset, okay? That you do need to get out of the quadrant number 1 or 2 to get into the fourth quadrant. You've gotta be an investor. Next, let's cover the basics. First of all, you've gotta set up your business, okay? So that's gonna be your LLC, your S Corp, your C Corp. So what we've done is we created a chart to give you the pros and cons of every single type of entity in a very simple manner, okay? So sole proprietorship. So I highlighted the disadvantages, right? Advantages, we don't care about the advantages if the disadvantages weight a lot more. So in this case, the problem with sole proprietorship is that you have unlimited liability. That means that your personal assets are on the line. If something goes bad, they're gonna file a lawsuit against you. So you don't want to have a sole proprietorship. Okay, next, we have the limited partnership. Okay, so here the problem is that you are also liable for the actions of your partners. Unlimited liability, so they're gonna come after you, so you're not protected. Please don't do a limited partnership. Next, you have the C corporation, okay? The problem with this is that now you're protected. As you can see in the advantages, limited liability. So your assets are protected, but the drawback is that you're gonna be double taxed on your profits. Therefore, we don't use C Corps. Okay, very, very simple. It's getting better, friends. So what are we using? S Corps. So S Corps, you are protected and you avoid double taxation. Okay, so if you're a single individual, get an S Corp. Okay, and an S Corp works for flips, rentals, wholesales. Very simple. Do an S Corp. If you are 2 or more people, do an LLC, because the LLC, you're gonna be protected, all your assets are gonna be protected. Not only that, but you're gonna avoid double taxation. And when you have multiple partners, you can benefit from each other's skills. So either do an LLC, if you're a single member entity, then create an S Corp. So avoid C Corp, sole proprietorships, and unlimited partnerships. Okay, so very, very simple. Now next, there are 3 resources that I'm gonna share with you. LegalZoom.com, Inkfile.com, Swift.com. My favorite one is LegalZoom, okay? So you can incorporate in less than 30 minutes, okay? It takes about a week. It depends if you pay the expedite fee, which is about $100. But you are going to be able to incorporate your S Corp or your LLC, boom, in less than 30 minutes. My favorite one is LegalZoom. Please incorporate. Now, the second thing that you need to do, open up a business checking. Once you incorporate, you're gonna get an EIN number. Go to the bank. They're gonna ask you for the articles of incorporation, and then open up a business checking account. The next thing that you need to do is to apply for business credit cards, okay? This is huge, friends, okay? I'm gonna tell you the difference between a business credit card and your regular personal credit card, okay? The business credit card is going to be under the business name. What's really cool is that you can max out your available balance, and guess what? It doesn't affect your FICO score. It will only affect if you default on the monthly payment, okay? And the cool thing about this is that you can get a surprise. Let me tell you my story. So we hired a third-party company that charged us 10% to get business credit cards. I was so upset. They got us 7 business cards amounting to $40,000 in business credit cards. So I paid 10% of that. So 10% of 40,000 was 4,000 just for them to fill out a form online. Can you believe that? I was so disappointed. So anyway, we got the business cards, and every so often I call the business cards and I say, you know, can you increase my line of credit? And they were saying, okay, sure. They put me on hold. How much would you like? Can you please double it? Sure, Mr. Galicia, but what's the reason? Business growth. Boom. They increase it. So I got in the habit of doing this every other month, okay? So right here, we're gonna give you the, boom, right there. Those are the banks with the phone numbers of the business credit cards that you need to apply for. And let me show you. It's gone crazy. Look at this. So this is one of our business credit cards. We have a limit of 120,000. And guess what? It's unsecured. I got this by calling them every other month saying, hey, can you increase my line of credit? How much would you like, Mr. Galicia? Can you please double it? What's the reason? Business growth. Buying properties. Okay, fine. They put me on hold for 2 minutes. Mr. Galicia, your line of credit has been approved. Boom. are gonna have of doing this. I mean, it's just crazy. And guess what, guys? I don't have a full-time job. I don't have a W-2. I don't have a job, in other words, right? So to me, this was like a, a hole in the system, right? How can you give so much credit, right? Based on what? But that's how it works for business credit cards. Not only that, but look at this cash advance. So I can go to the bank tomorrow, bring my credit card, and then I say, I need 24,000 cash. Boom, they'll give it to you. Of course, the interest rate is gonna be super high. It's gonna be like over 20%, 20, 24, 25%, but you have access to money because in real estate, you've got to leverage from two things, other people's money and other people's time. So I'm showing you how you're gonna tap into money, okay? And not only that, but I'm gonna show you the formula to recycle money. So you have very little money stuck in the properties. So next, you need to apply for business line of credits, okay? So we're gonna give you, when I click on this link, it's gonna open up over 20 Harmony lenders, okay, that are lending today. This is just a snapshot of few of them, but we have over 22 Harmony lenders, okay, that are gonna give you a line of credit. So typically what they do is based on your liquidity, they're gonna multiply that times 5 or 10, and they're gonna give you a line of credit. So what does that mean? So this is the list, this is the entire list, okay? So we have over 20 Harmony lenders lending money today. And we're gonna talk about what money lenders are, okay? So this is what it looks like. And a line of credit. So here we have it. It is under your entity, in this case, Home First Realty, for $495,000. Okay, so it spells out the terms, how much you can borrow, what's the interest, and so forth, right? So when you're ready to make an offer, you need to attach this to the offer so that they take you seriously, right? Because if you make an offer, anybody can make an offer, right? So you need to back it up with a line of credit so they know you're serious about buying, okay? Now, when you get your line of credit, this is where you're gonna be able to upload to ChicagoDealVault, okay? Once you upload this to ChicagoDealVault, when you make offers, we're gonna attach it automatically, okay? So it is so critical for you to apply for business line of credits, okay? Which is different from business credit cards, okay? This is like a humongous credit card that you need to have. So when you're ready to pull the trigger, boom. Okay, so guys, put all your questions on the chat. We're gonna answer them a little bit later, but if you have questions, put them on the chat. Now, let's talk about three things: Harmony lenders, private money lenders, and conventional lending. So I'm gonna quickly tell you the pros and cons of Harmony lenders. So what are Harmony lenders? Harmony lenders, let me tell you the pros. You can close very, very quickly, okay? 7 to 14 days. And most importantly, it is asset-based. So they're gonna be looking at the property, the deal itself. They're not gonna be looking at your income tax. They're not gonna be looking at your FICO per se. They're gonna be cash flows. Next. Some of the disadvantages are that it's expensive money, okay? So it could be from 9 all the way to 15, 16%. Okay, so that's something that you need to be aware of. Now there are short-term loans. They're gonna charge about 2 points up front. And they have, some of them have penalties when you prepay them. And then, or not only when you prepay them, but when you extend them. And they also require you to have skin in the game. Okay, that is very, very important. So I want to make sure that you understand Harmony lenders are asset-based. They're going to be looking at the deal and they're quick money. It's expensive, but it's totally worth it. That's how we do business. And one of the big things about Harmony lenders is that they can also finance the rehab, 100% of the rehab. That is huge, okay? So skin on the game, what I mean skin on the game is that they want you to have a down payment, right? They need you to put money. So it cannot be 100% financing. Now, private money lenders. Okay, private money lenders are individuals, okay? There are many, many benefits right here. So usually it's gonna be a little bit cheaper than hard money lenders. So some hard money lenders can charge you up to 15%. Private money lenders are gonna charge about 12%, okay? They, again, look at the deal. So it's asset-based. They're more flexible on the terms compared to hard money lenders, and they're also short term, but it's more flexible. They can also give you 100%, right, of the not only purchase but also the rehab. So this is huge, right? Of course, there are some private money lenders. They may want you to have some skin on the game. They may want you to put some money down, but we've had cases where we got 100% of the purchase and the rehab, which is huge. Okay, now some of the pros, I mean the cons, is that these are relationship based, okay? So you need to build relationship with them, and then depending on your strategy, you know, you might not be able to scale as fast with private money lenders, okay? And in fact, I believe we have a Dr. Said on the line. Dr. Said, are you on the line? Dr. Said is a private money lender. Are you on the line, Dr. Said? Yeah, we can hear you. Can you?
Okay, I'm sorry.
We can hear you.
I can't come visibly because my system is not working as well.
Oh, no worry. No worry. No, thank you for joining, Dr. Said. So Dr. Said is a private money lender. So the difference is that they chose to be passive in real estate. So they're not actively buying properties, but instead they're lending money to people like you and me in exchange for a return. Do you have a few words to share with our audience, Dr. Said?
No, I think first of all, Hugo, I appreciate your doing this very valuable seminar. I've always enjoyed and learned a lot from you, and certainly my gurus are Andrew and Rahul, and I have learned a lot from them. I did not know anything about private money lending. I only knew how to spell it till I joined Mastery about a year and a half ago. So having said that, as you mentioned earlier, it's extremely important to build a relationship, because from a private money lender's point of view, we want to make sure that our investment is secure. And secondly, we want, my success depends upon the success of the borrower, you see. So certainly we want to know everything about the property, everything about the investment. And the more information they can provide to a private money lender, the more convenient and the more at ease will be the situation with the private money lender. They want to make sure that there is security there and that they're going to get their money back. At the same time, they want to make a win-win situation for the borrower too. So that's basically, in a nutshell, where we're coming from. So we want to look at the comps. We want to look at the ARV value. We want to make sure the exit strategy is secure, that they can get financing at the end of the project. Typically, the loans are anywhere from 4 to 6 months, 2 points, 12%, and that type of thing. So, you know, and particularly in COVID times, we are not necessarily trying to make them pay an extra 2 points at the end of the term of the loan. We may extend it without asking them. So we are trying to understand their situation too.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dr. Said, for joining. He's a great friend of ours and an incredible person, doctor, and investor. So thank you for joining, Dr. Said.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So as friends, as Dr. Said mentioned, they want to make sure that their money is secure. So guess what? When I give you a demo, I'm going to show you how you're going to present your deal to get it funded. So he mentioned, I need to see the ARV. I need to see comps. I need to see successful exit strategies. I want to make sure that there's equity. I want to make sure that there's cash flow. So how do you do all that? Guess what, friends? We're going to do it in seconds. We're going to generate a presentation report to present to private money lenders, hard money lenders. So everything they're looking for, it's in a one PDF document. super powerful. Okay, so those are private money lenders. Again, they're relationship based. So if there's anyone that you want to take out for lunch, for dinner, it's a private money lender. Okay, so Mr. Said, I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of invites today. We have over 100 people online, so it's super exciting.
I'm happy to take people out for lunch or dinner also.
Oh, perfect. Whoa, guys, that's amazing. Thank you, Dr. Said. He's super humble. And then we have conventional financing. So in here, you have the big banks. Our preferred conventional lender is Juan Loya. Okay, so let's talk about what the conventional banks are. So scalable financing, right? So you can get a lot of loans so long you have the equity, right? Here, it's a lot cheaper. Right now, interest rates are so low, so that is why you're gonna get the lowest rates, the better deals. And we use them on the back end for refinancing purposes, okay? To pay off the hard money lender or the private money lender so that we put the loan in a longer term, lower interest rate. So these are the pros. Now, what are the cons of these conventional lenders? It requires a personal guarantee. So usually it's an individual, it's yourself. Number two, underwriting is based on your credit score, taxes. So they're going to be looking at yourself. Okay, so that is the big difference. Okay, they're not going to be focusing on the asset as much as yourself. Now, here, some of them now require significant skin on the game. Okay, so lately, some of the conventional lenders, they require 700 FICO score and up, and then 20% money down for down payment. Okay, guys, so how are you feeling so far? Are you guys ready for the wholesaling? Perfect. Okay, so what we can do, we've been going at it for about an hour. So you know what we're gonna do, guys? We're gonna do something really cool. Before we start wholesaling, because I wanna make sure that your mind is clear, we're gonna do something really cool right now, okay? Because once you start wholesaling, I wanna make sure that your brain is fresh. Let me tell you, that is why TED Talks only last 18 minutes. The minute you start going over 18 minutes, you burn yourself. So I wanna make sure that you're fresh. So what we're gonna do is something really amazing. We have exactly 105 people online. What I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna break you up in rooms. I'm gonna pair you up. So we're gonna create 52 breakout rooms. So you're gonna have only, listen to this, you're gonna have only 2 minutes each, okay, to network. So this is how it's gonna go. You only have 2 minutes. You're gonna say, my name is Hugo. I'm covering the following counties: Cook County, Lake County, DuPage County. My exit strategies are buy and hold. What is it that I bring to the table? I bring experience, money, deals. What is it that I lack? I lack time. My contact information is boom, boom, and boom. And then you take turns, okay? You've got to be able to do this very fast. So you get to know more people today. So we're gonna break you up in, we're gonna pair you up. Exactly, we need 52 breaker rooms. And you're gonna have only 4 minutes, guys. So be ready to exchange that information. If you can, please enable your video so you do a face-to-face. So breaker rooms, again, 4 minutes. I'm gonna create right now 52 breaker rooms. Actually, yeah. 50 to be precise. Okay, so, and then there are gonna be 2 participants per room. Okay, so we're gonna go right now. So we're gonna do 4 minutes. I'm configuring this right now. And it's going to let you know when the time is up 30 seconds before, okay? So now you guys are going to leave the main room right now to go into a breaker room, and then I'm gonna bring you back in 4 minutes, okay? Listen to this. You only have 2 minutes to share your information. You've got to do it very fast. So here we go, guys. You guys are gonna be pairing up with somebody else now. Okay, So you should all be in breakout rooms right now. Start networking. Okay, so right now as we speak, we're moving people. All over 100 people are going into breakout rooms, okay, right now. Please unmute yourself once you get into the breakout room. We're pushing people as we speak to breakout rooms. Okay, so we have 14 people on the main room.
Hey, Hugo, how are you?
Hi.
Hi,
Good, thanks, and you?
Good. The person I was paired up with wasn't in his room, so I just came back to the main room.
Okay, that's no problem. So we have a lot of people right now. We have 15 people. So you guys can start to network for the next few minutes. Go ahead.
Hey, is anybody else here?
Yeah, there are 15 people in this room.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it. Go for it.
Hi, I'm
So
April.
you can type it in the chat. Go ahead.
I can put it in the chat. But I'm
As
April.
well.
I'm a buy and hold real estate investor with my fiance, Julian. We cover Will County and Cook County. We lack deals and money, and we can bring lots of time, and we have some experience. We're house hacking a 3-flat, and we have a single family rental in Bolingbrook, and we'd like to scale up and network with a bunch of other people. Nice to meet everybody.
Awesome. Okay, somebody else. Now we're bringing people back into the main room. So, but you have somebody else who wants to speak? Go for it. Very quickly, guys.
Oh, in that case, I would go ahead and put it on the market. I see Hugo.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing there?
Oh, they're taking us out.
Good, thank you. Okay, so Yeah, so now we're bringing everyone back into the room. So we have 4 minutes to do the, so now everyone is going to come back to the main room. Okay, so now everyone is coming back into the main room.
Please listen to the following options for further information about
Okay. Okay, guys, so now we're bringing everyone back into the main room. We just have a few people that are still in the breakout rooms. They should be coming back up. Okay. Perfect. So friends, how was it? I mean, I know it's not enough time. I just wanted to make sure that your mind was fresh, that you got to talk to somebody, share what you do, how you do it, where you do it. Oh, perfect. Adrian, you were by yourself. Awesome. We'll pair you up with somebody else. Okay, so what was your thinking, guys? Oh, partner was absent or muted. Yeah, that could happen. Could you share the sources of getting the business cards? We're going to get to that, Jonathan. My partner wasn't there. Okay. So next time when I pair you up, it's not going to be in rooms of 2. We're going to pair up more people. Okay. So in case somebody's muted, somebody's not answering, we're going to pair you up. Or if they didn't have a microphone. So we're going to make sure that everyone is able to network with each other. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So we're going to get started again. We chatted. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to mute all of you guys and then let's get started with the wholesale. Okay, are you guys ready to start? Ready? Perfect. Awesome. So let's keep going. I'm going to give you everything. Everything that there's to know in wholesaling. So let's talk about wholesaling. Okay. So what's wholesaling? So wholesaling, pretty much you are buying a property. You're not buying a property. You're getting a property on the contract. So let's assume in this example, you're getting the property on the contract for $100,000. Okay. In fact, my PowerPoint. Okay. So here you get it for $90,000 on the contract, and you're gonna wholesale it for $10,000 more, so $100,000. So what's important about wholesaling is that you're not buying the property. You're just getting a property on the contract, and you're selling the rights of that contract to an end buyer or a cash buyer. That's all you're doing. Okay, that's all you're doing. You are just reassigning the rights of the contract to a cash buyer for a finder's fee or a wholesale fee. Now, there are 5 components, okay, that you need to do wholesaling successfully. So number 1, you need a flow of seller leads. You need to figure out the ARV. So how much is the property worth? Then you need to find out the estimated repair cost of the property. Next, you need to negotiate, and finally, you need to market the property, okay, to cash buyers. So those are the 5 basic steps that you need for wholesaling. Now, let's talk about the pros and cons of wholesaling. So it's quick money, right? So you can just reassign the contract, get 5,000, 10,000. That is why a lot of people are interested in wholesaling. It could be quick money. Very little risk, right? Because you don't have any money or skin on the game on the deal. Then you can make these into a great business, like Dan Carlton, right? He runs a wholesaling business very successful. Next, not a lot of money is needed up front, right? Because you're not buying the property again. You're just getting the property on their contract. Next, low risk, okay? Right here. So since your money is not on the line, all you're doing is selling the rights to the contract to a flipper or somebody who's going to do a buy and hold. Okay, you're not renovating the property, you're not closing on the property. There's an exception to the rule, right? If you're doing a double close, which we're going to talk about later, you're closing on the property and then selling the property immediately back to back. We're going to talk about that. And then you have very few escape clauses in the contract will allow you to get out or cancel the deal. So it's very low risk. Now let's talk about the cons of wholesaling, right? So the biggest problem is that you're not building your net worth, okay? Unlike with rentals. Marketing expenses continue to go up every single year, and it is very competitive because there's not much investment required to get into wholesaling. There's a lot of competition, okay? So those are the main drawbacks. Next, not needed, but advice. So you don't need an entity, an LLC, but it's recommended. So I gave you the resources before. You don't need a bank account, but after you do your first wholesale deal, it is recommended. Not needed for advice. Again, you need a website. This is one of the best resources, carrot.com. All they do is real estate websites. Very, very good, inexpensive resource. Now you need your business cards. Get them from vistaprint.com. And something very, very important, friends. Please, at the back of your business card, put the following: all cash deals, no repairs, no clean out required. We pay closing expenses. We buy any type of assets in any situation, and we can close when you need it. Okay, that is so, so important. Why is that important? Because people will later look at your business card and they'll forget what you're all about. So make sure that you put that in the back of your business card. Next, business phone number. So you can use your own phone number, but what we recommend is use another system to have a separate number. My advice is Google Voice. It's free, it's simple. If you want a more sophisticated phone system, you can Ring Central and CallRail. Okay, but for now, stick to Google Voice. Very, very simple. Now let's talk about the common seller and situations, right? That you're gonna be able to get a good deal to wholesale. So you have tax delinquents, probates or inherited properties, pre-foreclosures, people with costly repairs, bad tenants. You know, landlords are sick and tired of bad tenants, empty nesters, they want to downsize, out-of-state owners, tired landlords, vacant properties. Okay, so these are your main lead pipes of trying to find a great deal that you can wholesale. Now, these are the different type of seller situations, okay? But there are two that are so, so critical. You must have motivation and to be able to successfully get a property on the contract. So the seller needs to be very motivated and you have to have a lot of equity in that property, okay? Super, super important. Is this making sense so far, guys? Perfect, I see a lot of yeses, awesome. Next, marketing strategy. So I'm gonna talk about two, low cost and high cost. So cold calling, pick up your phone and call them, knock on their doors, door knocking, door hangers, bandit signs. So these are the low cost marketing strategies. Driving for dollars, websites, business cards, signage on your vehicle. Now these are the high cost, direct mail, PPC, so pay-per-click. This is when you pay Google or AdWords to promote your website. SEO, search engine optimization, when you want for your website. Okay, this is expensive. Cold calling with a business, with a virtual assistant or employee. Those are expensive. TV, radio ads, obviously. So what we're gonna show you is the top low cost strategy. Pulling motivated seller list and skip tracing. Okay, this is by far the lowest strategy when it comes to the lower cost strategy. So you get the highly motivated, which we're gonna give you, and then we can also skip trace them for you. Okay, and then remember, next thing is you need to call them. Okay, so additional marketing strategies, SEO on your website. So use carrot.com, car magnetic signs on your vehicle, bandit signs, Craigslist, Zillow. So those are some of other marketing strategies for your wholesale deals when you are trying to get leads, okay? Now, next, CRM, it's a customer relationship management system. So pretty much it's a system that will keep track of your seller leads, buyer leads, your properties. So we have the Blue Angel icon. That means that for Blue Angel members, we're gonna give you the DealVault CRM. This is where you can keep track of everything, right? Your seller leads, your documents, your appointments, your buyer leads, pretty much everything, okay? So these are just screenshots of what our CRM looks like. It's a Blue Angel feature. So you can look up any seller lead, buyer lead. Now, you need to get very comfortable on the phone. That is so, so critical, guys. So you feel comfortable. You obviously need to practice, but here we have the scripts. These are killer scripts, okay? So we have 2 of them. One of them is for door knocking. So if I click on this link, so it's gonna take you to the document. So I'm gonna show you both the door knocking script and also the seller script, okay? These are the scripts that you need when you go to the property, door knock, or when you get on the phone with the seller, because remember, you've gotta identify their motivation level. So that's gonna be critical. So this is the door knocking script, okay? So we're gonna give these to you when you go knock on somebody's door. This is so critical, but this is my favorite. It's gonna load in a second. The seller script is the other one that is gonna help you identify their motivation level. So how motivated are they, okay? So that's gonna be super, super important. I'll show you that in a second when it comes up. Now, let's go over identifying hot leads, medium leads, and cold leads, okay? So right here is the seller script. This is the one that we're gonna be using to identify whether the lead or the seller is highly motivated, not so much, or not motivated at all. So we're gonna give you every single sentence that you need to say when on the phone with the seller. Right here, it's a 2-3 page script. It is gold. This is magic, okay? So that's the script. So let me give you the example of hot leads. So we're gonna go over hot lead, warm lead, and cold lead. So what's an example of a hot lead? Hey, you know, I wanna sell my house to the first person that gives me 150,000, right? So you know they're very motivated. So it's a hot lead. Or my house is going to foreclosure in a few weeks. That means they need to sell it, otherwise they're gonna lose it. Or I need to sell my house in 2 weeks. Boom. So you know it's a hot lead. I don't want the realtor to list my house, so I need to sell it right now. So that's a very hot lead. Or, you know, I have a lot of repairs in my house. I don't have the money. So that's a hot lead, okay? And the script that we give you will help you identify hot leads. Now, what's a warm lead example, okay? So you contacted me. This is what the seller is telling you. What do you have to offer, right? So they're not extremely motivated. And then they said, well, I have a tenant in the property. I don't want to be a landlord anymore, right? So this is, but I just want to see, you know, what you can offer me, how much you can pay me. That's an example of warm lead. Next, you have the cold lead, okay? So these are the people that you need to move on very quickly, like skip altogether. I never thought about selling my house, but you contact me, so what are you offering me? They're not motivated at all. And remember, you need motivation and equity. So skip them all together, just say thank you politely, and we give you that in the script. I'm not selling my house unless you can give me cash and pay retail above retail price for it. So you know you're not gonna get anywhere with them, so you've gotta just skip them all together. I'm not ready to sell, but maybe in 3 months or so. So that means that forget it. So this is a Blue Angel feature. So what the objective of being on the phone with the seller leads is making an appointment, right? You've got to make an appointment with them. So here we're going to give you the script. And not only that, but we also have an interview, live interview for appointment setting with Dan Carlton. So this is super, super powerful. So we're gonna give you both Blue Angels. So right here, this is the script to set an appointment, okay? This is what it takes to successfully get them to say, yes, I wanna see you. I want you to come see my property, okay? That's what the script looks like, okay? It's like a workflow, right? Depending on what they say, then you say something else. And friends, you've got to be very comfortable with this script so you don't sound like a robot. And this one, this is a video, right? So here it's a role play between Dan and Tommy. So it is just a fantastic. Let me just put it on. Okay. So that is just an interview. We're going to give you the interview. We're going to give you the script to set an appointment. Okay, that is just huge. Next. Okay. So next, perfect. Factors to consider with the after repair value, because you need to be able to come up with an accurate ARV. So you need to look at the exterior of the subject property, and then you need to compare apples with apples, the number of bathrooms. Then you need to go back 6 months looking at the comps, take a look at the size of the property, square footage. But you know what? You don't need to worry about all this because DealVault, the software, is going to do it for you. So this is what you need to bring to the appointment. A flashlight, your phone, pen and paper, business cards, the repaired estimate sheet, okay? This is a one-page document that is gonna help you come up with an accurate ARV estimate. So, and obviously the contract, okay? So we're gonna give them both to you. So right now, this is the one-page estimate that you need. So when you go to the appointment, you need to walk the property and then just check the items that need repair, and you will easily come up with an accurate rehab estimate. And then you also have the purchase contract. So this is what you need, very simple. You need to have the right of assignment, prorations, conveyance of the contract, and then most importantly, you need to get them to sign the contract. So this is a very simple, non-invasive contract. So you don't even need to think, create, or work. We're gonna give you everything. The one-page rehab estimate, we're gonna give you the sales contract. This is what you need to bring to the appointment. That's it, very simple. Now, listen, that's gonna be your major asset. When you go to the property, you've gotta listen to exactly what their problem is, because we're in the people's business. You have to solve their problem, okay? So how are you gonna accomplish that? By listening, making sure that you listen to what they have to say, what they want. Next, calculating the offer. This is the only time that we're gonna do a little bit of math. It is very, very simple. So we're gonna take the after repair value and we're gonna multiply that by 70% minus the cost of repairs, okay? So it's very, very simple formula, and it is so critical to make sure that you don't overpay for the property. So in here, we give an example. So 100,000, you get it on the contract, and then you're gonna multiply that times 70% minus, let's say the rehab is going to be 30,000. So the max allowed offer is going to be 40,000. Now, how much are you gonna sell these for? You're gonna sell these for a desired profit. It could be 5 to 20,000 assignment fee. Okay, so that's gonna be up to you depending on your deal. So next, overcoming objections, right? So what's the biggest objection of people or sellers? Number one objection is price. So you want to understand how the seller came up with the price that they want, okay? And tell them, hey, listen, we're not having a realtor in the middle, so you're going to be saving at least 10% commission. And the biggest way to overcome the price objection is with the repairs, right? Because they don't need to do anything to the property. We're taking the property as is. We're going to do the repairs. So when you create your rehab estimate with the sheet I gave you, that's a way for you to overcome their objection of the price. So again, take your time, listen, be quiet, give them a solution to their number one problem. And then most importantly, you need to get them to sign the contract. Okay, so have them go over the 2-page contract that I gave you. Is very simple. Explain step by step what the contract is, which is extremely need to sign the contract, right? So this is the contract. Again, we're going to give you the 2-page contract. You know, it shows the right to assign, so you can reassign the rights of this contract to somebody else. So again, you're not buying the property, okay? You're just getting the property in the contract, and you're going to sell the rights of this contract to a cash buyer. That's simple. So we're going to give you, again, the contract. Next, fear of loss. This is super, super, super important, guys. So pretty much you're telling the seller, listen, you know, I really like you and your property. Unfortunately, I have other appointments to make it to, and I cannot commit cash to multiple properties. So what would it take to get this done today? Because if I'm able, once I leave, right? So that's the fear of loss. And it is so important for people to take action, okay? So in here, we give you my favorite phrase. And again, we're gonna make this available for you. It's a document that we put together with the fear of loss example. This is exactly what I just told you. This works incredibly well, friends. Fear of loss. This is the fear of loss document. So you have it handy. You just need to memorize this. Fear of loss, very critical. Now, once you got all of that done and then they sign the contract, how do you get your deal in front of thousands of cash buyers? Guess what? We will do that for you. So we're gonna blast the entire ChicagoDealVault network with over 10,000 cash buyers, investors. So you don't need to do letters, postcards. You don't need to go to RIA meetings, put bandit signs or anything, right? So we are going to be able to do that for you. Now, there's a question between assigning the contract or doing a double close. I mentioned that earlier. So as a rule of thumb, when do you make an assignment? Very, very simple. If your profit is going to be less than 10,000, then do an assignment. But if your profit is going to be over 10,000, then you need to double close. The difference is that when you do a double close, it means that you're taking money from the end buyer, buying the property, and right away you do a second closing with the end buyer. So you buy it from the seller using the money of the cash buyer, and right away you're gonna sell it to the end buyer, double close. So Gary Davidson, number one attorney, is really good at double closing. So you don't need to think, worry, create anything, right? So you just leave it to the experts. He's gonna take care of it. In fact, this is the assignment contract right here. That is the assignment contract. So we're gonna give you the assignment contract. This is how you assign the first contract, the purchase contract, onto the buyer, onto the end buyer or cash buyer. Very simple. So we're gonna give you this contract as well. That's what it looks like. Now, this is something so critical that a lot of people disregard, right? So what we're gonna help you do is we're gonna find the realtors who've made transactions in the neighborhood of your subject property, and we're gonna find out if they're interested in your deal. So we've been doing that very successfully. So that's just a tip of advice that we can help you do. Now, once you identify a cash buyer, you need to ask the following questions. Like, have you bought other wholesale deals before? Then how many deals are you doing a year? You want to understand as much information as possible. Because eventually they're going to become your clients, right? The type of deals they're doing, the exit strategies they're trying to do, you want to understand everything they're doing. Next, it's come time to show the property, right? So now you got the property in the contract, you need to show it to the cash buyer. So make sure that you set up an appointment with the seller. You've got to confirm every appointment with the end buyer, and then all the questions are going to come to you, not to the seller. You are the middle person, so everything is coming to you, and then you're going to reach out to the cash buyers after they saw the property, and then you're going to tell them the terms of the contract. So you need to tell them, so we need to close on the property in so many weeks, no contingencies, the earnest money is going to be this much, and you're going to need to pay closing for both the buyer and the seller. So these are your criteria that you need to convey over to the cash buyer to get the offer. Now, getting a successful closing. So you're going to use an attorney, Gary Davidson, either for the assignment or the double close, just to make sure that the transaction goes smoothly. Now, there are many things that could go wrong. These are some of the things that can go wrong. When the attorney does the title search, they might find liens, past taxes, heirs, some other obstacles that may arise. So you just need to renegotiate the terms of the contract with the seller should issues arise. But that is why you always need to have an attorney who's going to be watching your back, okay? So what is the closing process look like? You need to make sure that you send the contracts to both the seller, the buyer, provide them with everybody's contact information to both the attorney and the seller and buyer. Reach out to both of them, keep them up to date with the status, the documents on a timely basis. So you need to be on top of the transaction while it's in the process. Now, there are going to be some questions, guys. Do you need to have a license? Yes, in Illinois, you need to have a license unless you want to do only one wholesale deal in 12 months. Now, should I get a license? Of course, you should get a license. This is my favorite place. This is, in fact, where I renew my license. It's called Institute Real Estate Institute. The website is right here, instituteonline.com. They are very, very good. They have many locations in Chicago. So make sure that you reach out to them. Again, Institute Online. Another question is, do I need to form an LLC? No, but it's recommended, right? I mentioned this earlier. Do you need a different number? No, you can use the same phone number, but I highly recommend you use Google Voice. Do you need a CRM right off the bat? You don't, but we're gonna give you one, okay? Now, case study. So this is the roadmap that I'm taking you guys right now. So you only have 3 exit strategies: wholesale, fix and flip, and buy and hold. So right now, we are going to take the first exit, which is the wholesale. So in the case study, we're going to identify a great market, access great deals, analyze the deal in seconds, and then wholesale the deal. Very, very simple, like in 2 minutes, okay? So friends, let me ask you this. In the past hour, would you agree this is being time well spent? And, you know, I like to say that time well spent at the beach, it's just awesome. Would you say that time has been well spent so far, guys, in the last hour? Perfect. Okay, awesome, yes. I don't know what these lines are for, but we'll just try to ignore these lines. Yeah, no, we're not getting hacked. Awesome. So perfect. Let's continue, guys, because I've got a lot of information to give you. So let me give you just the live demo in ChicagoDealVault, because many people were asking how to find off-market deals and so forth. So this is ChicagoDealVault right here. So we're going to go to off-market properties. So these are technically not for sale. So to find a great deal, very simple. Okay, so we're going to go to pre-foreclosures. And remember that I told you, you need 2 things. You need equity and motivation. Okay, that's it. So we're going to filter pre-foreclosure. So these are people who fell behind the mortgage and the bank is going to take property, is going to get auctioned off. Okay, so what we're going to do is click on pre-foreclosures. Right here, they're coming up. And once I filter them by high equity, that is so critical, 50% or over. So what that means is that the owner owes very little money, but yet the property is worth a lot. So that is one of the requirements. We need a lot of equity, okay? So in here, while this comes back up, I want to continue showing you an example. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. This is an example of wholesaling. Okay, so wholesaling means that you are buying the contract, you are buying the property, but you're not doing anything to the property. So what we did is we bought this property in Ukrainian Village, very hot area. We bought it for 110,000. We spent about 2,000 in cleanup. That's about it. We put it right away on the MLS. In 1 month, we were able to close on the deal, sold it for 198. We made 60,000. Okay, so that is wholesaling. In this case, we're not selling the rights of the contract. In this case, we bought the property. Okay, and we put it right away on the MLS. So you can do this when you buy properties at a great discount and then in awesome areas. So in fact, friends, we bought this property from a wholesaler. Figure that. So the wholesaler probably got it on the contract for like 90,000 or 100,000. So the wholesaler made like 10, 20,000. But guess what? This property is worth over 400,000 once it's fully rehabbed in Ukrainian Village. So we said, why not? Let's just do nothing, put it in the MLS and see what happens. So we quickly made 60,000. Okay, so let me log on to the system. So that's an example of wholesaling, but wholesaling is pretty much getting a great property. Imagine you get this property on the contract for 110, you can easily wholesale this for 150. And instead of doing an assignment because you're making 40,000, you do a double close on this deal. So it is very simple. Okay, so now we're coming back to quickly show you how to find great deals like the one I showed you before. Okay, so we're gonna look at pre-foreclosures with a lot of equity, okay? And then guys, before we end this wholesaling segment, I wanna make sure that you get off to a fast start, accessing great deals, which I will show you shortly. Connect with the owners. This is so critical, guys, because guess what? You're gonna be making money in real estate when three things happen. You talk to owners, sellers, or listing agents, and you make offers. Those are the only three activities that are gonna make you money. Anything else that you engage in is not gonna be money making. Next, get properties on the contract, market them to cash buyers, and we're gonna help you do that. So in here, I'm gonna put over 50%, and then I'm gonna draw or pick a city, right? Or I can just pick a county. I just want to know all the properties that have over 50% equity, right? So because we have over 40,000 pre-foreclosures, right? So right now, I'm going to choose, let's say Bolingbrook. Boom. So I want all the great deals in Bolingbrook with over 50% equity. Boom, I'm gonna search for them. Okay, very simple, just a few seconds. Okay, so right here, from 40,000, you're gonna see that it's coming back to only 45 awesome deals, friends. And we're gonna piggyback this search, okay? So I'm just gonna randomly pick on one of them right here. And I'm gonna tell you why this is a great deal, okay? So remember, high equity means owner owes very little. In this case, the owner owes 32,000, but this property is worth 172 to 190,000. So the owner has about 150,000 in equity. So this is just an incredible deal, guys. Okay, so now, let me stop the share, and then I'm gonna share my screen again, so hopefully we get rid of those lines. Now I'm gonna share my screen again. Okay, perfect, we got rid of those lines. So now, guys, we found a great deal. All you need to do is get in touch with the owner, and boom, with a click of a button, I just click on the owner's name, boom, we're gonna give you their email addresses, phone numbers, everything. All you need to do is use the scripts that we're giving you right here, the seller scripts, to get in touch, build rapport, and most importantly, make an appointment, right? So that's how easy it works for you to get a great deal. Let me go back to DealVault. Once you get in touch with them, make an appointment with them, take your one sheet, rehab estimator, and your contract. And that's it. Once you get it on the contract, we're gonna help you do a blast to over 10,000 cash buyers. Very, very simple. So guys, now let's move on to fix and flip. Are you guys ready to get started on fix and flips? We're gonna give you everything that you need to know on fix and flips. Okay, super, super powerful. Okay, I hear a lot of. So what I'm gonna show you guys is how we made about 70,000 on a flip. So what I'm gonna show you is we're gonna reverse engineer the process, how you can do that. That's most importantly. So before I show you that, I just wanna show you the pros and cons of what the flip is, what you need to look for, so you are successful doing fix and flips. But keep in mind right now, because due to the crisis, flipping is not a good idea, okay? Just a disclaimer, right now, flips are sitting on the market. You can lose a lot of money trying to do flips right now because things are still closed. You cannot get permits. The villages are closed. People are not seeing the properties physically. So just understand the concept. I'm gonna show you how we made 60,000, how you can do the same doing flips. But keep in mind, right now it's not the time to do flips. So what are the pros? Quick money, right? That's the biggest advantage. And then it's sort of like a safe environment if you know the numbers. Now, the cons, what is the cons? It could be very expensive, costly, especially if you start doing big rehabs, okay? It could be very costly. Taxes, when you sell your flip, guess what? That's gonna trigger a tax event. You're gonna need to pay taxes on the profit. That's the problem. So now let's quickly summarize the pros and cons of flipping. In and out, issues or cons, tax issues, newbie. If you don't know what you're doing, you can lose your shirt. They're very risky. High investment, that means that you need to come up with rehab, money, even though you're getting that financed, you need to come up with that money up front. So I'm gonna talk about that. So it's a lot riskier to do flips, more hassles dealing with contractors. So just keep that in mind. Now, this is huge. What this slide is so important, guys. And this is what many investors make a mistake in. They try to do a flip in the wrong market. So you need to understand what the top flipping markets are. And not only that, but you need to understand only two metrics: absorption rate and months of housing supply. That is all you need to understand. So what does that mean? What's a great flipping market? A great flipping market is a market where properties are selling very fast, and not only that, but where there's not enough inventory, and yet properties are selling very fast. That's it, right? You don't want a market where properties sit in the market for 6, 7, 12 months. Forget it, that's not a flipping market. So absorption rate is how quickly properties sell, and months of housing supply means that how many months is gonna take before that market runs out of inventory. Let me give an example. So if, let's say, Hanover Park has 100 properties for sale, but they're selling, meaning absorption rate, about 33 properties every month. So the question is, how long would it take in Hanover Park before you run out of inventory, properties for sale? Obviously, 3 months, because you're selling 33 properties every month. So a great flipping market is a market that has months of housing supply equivalent to 2.5 months or less. Okay, so next, you want obviously desirable areas where the market time is less than 90 days. So they stay in the market for less than 90 days. and where there are already a lot of flips happening in those areas. So in here, as you can see, you see the blue angel icon. So we're gonna give you the top flipping markets, okay? We're gonna give you the top flipping markets, not only in the suburbs, but also in the city. And we divided those by type of property. So we're gonna give you the top flipping markets for condos and for single family homes in the city and also in the suburbs. So right here is the spreadsheet. So we have all the suburbs. As you can see, the orange column is for condos or attached. And this, the next column is for single family homes. So we're gonna tell you the top flipping markets, and then that's for the suburbs. If I click on this tab, this is for the city, okay, of Chicago. So we're gonna tell you where you need to do your flips, so you don't need to think, create, work, nothing. We're gonna give you the details of every single area where you need to do your flips. So now, having said that, financing, right? How do you finance the flips? Hard money lenders, private money lenders. If you're gonna use conventional lenders, you need to use like a 203K program. But for the most part, please use hard money lenders or private money lenders because they're gonna finance most of the purchase price. Okay, you have owner financing, do partnerships, okay, with financing. Now, first-time flippers, this is what you need to keep in mind, right? Stay in highly flippable markets, ideally 3-bedroom, 2-bath. You have to have a mentor that has done this before. Stay under 250 after repair value. Please don't buy properties super expensive, over $500,000 ARV, because that's the market that's been hit the hardest. Keep it simple, in and out, and this is a great opportunity for partnerships. Build a team, and in fact, the team that I presented at the beginning is your team. So please leverage from our preferred partners. Get financing in place, and friends, flipping is not easy, just a disclaimer. So setting your criteria, right? So remember, you need motivated sellers. You need to make sure that the deal makes sense. You need to have equity and cash flow, super important. You need to understand the market. That is the most important thing where you're trying to do the flip. Now, setting up your leads from other wholesalers. Most importantly, ChicagoDealVault, we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of leads. Through partnerships, you can find all the leads. Now the acquisition, right? How are you gonna buy them, right? This is so important. Before you buy the property, never force a property. So if you get a bad feeling of the layout, the location, the condition of the property, skip it all together, please. Like the mistake we made, bought a property with 5 sump pumps in the backyard. We forced the deal, right? We tried to do a flip, please. It should be like love at first sight, right? When you meet somebody, you already have chemistry. It's the same way with real estate. Super important, months of housing supply, critical, most important metric. And we're gonna give it to you for every single market. So you don't need to compute that. We're gonna give you the months of housing supply for every market. Considering wholesaling, just what we did. You buy it and you put it back on the MLS for a big profit. You need to identify the ARV accurately. We're going to show you how to do that next shortly. And then make offers. Through ChicagoDealVault, you can make quick offers. We're going to give you this is the one sheet rehab estimate that is going to come very, very handy when you go look at properties that you're considering for flips. That's the one sheet that we're going to make it available to you. So now the case study, we're going to identify a hot market, access the deal, analyze it, fund it, and fix it and flip it. So I'm going to give you the example of the flip we made, 60,000 in about a few weeks. So very, very powerful. Let me show you this. So I'm going to do a power search on this property, 4722 South Kedville. Okay. So this property, was for sale. It's in Archer Heights, okay? This property was for sale for 113. It was an MLS deal. So I'm gonna pull up the listing, okay? So DealVault alerted us, send us an alert that this was a great deal. So we took a closer look at this property. So in Archer Heights, guess what? The months of housing supply in Archer Heights, it's like 1 month. So you're gonna run out of inventory like no tomorrow. So this property was for sale for 113, but guess what? The ARV on the property is 230 to 250. So obviously, when you have a spread of about $100,000, it's a great deal. And just let me pull up Archer Heights. So this property is near Midway. I'm gonna pull the area report, Archer Heights, to show you the months of housing supply. So by the way, we have over 300 areas already analyzed. So you don't need to gonna give you the numbers. So let me pull it up. Minimize right here. So I'm gonna go to the bottom of the report to show you what I looked at. Because when we got the property on the contract, my first question was, what should I do with this property? Should it be a rental? Should it be a flip? So I'm gonna scroll down to this report where we give you all the details, right? So in here, let me quickly show you. I'm gonna scroll down to the sales market analysis right here, okay? Months of housing supply, right here. For detached or single family homes, 1 month. So what it means is that in Archer Heights, we're gonna run out of single family homes in 1 month. So properties are gonna be selling like hotcakes. So when I saw 1 month of months of housing supply, I say it's a no-brainer. We need to do a flip. So what we did is, first of all, we got it on the contract. So let me go back to the listing. This is the property. So the first thing is I see it for 113,000. So who's got it for sale? So I went into the description, and then the listing agent is Koya Smith right here, which is the mom of Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith is the top area broker in Illinois, and he's part of DealVault. So I call Ryan and I say, Ryan, what would it take for us to get your listing on the contract at Kedville? He said, Hugo, make an offer for 120. So I was looking at DealVault, right? So DealVault tells me this property is worth almost 250. We're gonna put about 30,000 in rehab, and the most we should pay for this property. This is so freaking awesome, right? DealVault tells me I need to pay no more than 146 for a flip. So he's asking for 120. Is still within the limits, so long the rehab is less than 30,000. Okay. So we looked at the property. The rehab was going to be about 30,000. It ended up being 35,000. But this is how quickly we analyze the deal. It makes total sense. We're going to pay 120. We'll sell it for high up in the mid 200s. So what we did is we tried to do the wholesaling. So let me show you. We put it back on the MLS for 157. It lasted about a week. Nothing happened. We didn't sell it. Nobody bought it. So my wife and I said, let's fix it up and let's sell it for more. So we fixed up the property, and then guess how much we sold it for? We sold it for 230,000 right here. So let me show you. Let me open up the listing. So how did we sell it for that much? First of all, I called Frank Monter. I said, Frank, hey, we have this property. We fix it up. Can you sell it for top dollars? He said, sure, Hugo. I'm gonna list it. So he listed the property for 250, and he sold it in 3 weeks for 230. So we made about $65,000, 3 weeks. So it took us about 3 weeks to do the rehab, 3 weeks for market time, month and a half, we made $65,000. But again, guys, it's about working with the top key players in the industry. Ryan Smith gave us the deal. He's from DealVault. We did the rehab. Frank Mondros sold the property for top dollars, right? So in 3 weeks, we were able to make 65,000. But again, please look at the months of housing supplies. This is what's going to drive a flipping market. But again, don't worry, because we're going to give you the flipping markets right here. So you're going to have access to the top flipping markets right here. Okay, top flipping markets. So we're going to give you that spreadsheet. Okay. Okay, so now let's move on, guys. Live demo, I just gave you the live demo, and this is something really cool. So what I'm showing you here is a rule of thumb, okay? So the rule of thumb, check this out. If you're thinking about doing a flip, please identify hot flipping markets, which we're gonna give you, so you don't need to think. And then stay on there, 250,000. Next, focus on B and A areas, okay? That is just going to be very, very, very important. Why? Because right now, C and D areas, so A are the best, D is like a war zone. So D and C areas have been hit the hardest, okay? B and A areas have felt the crisis, but just slightly. Why? Because B and A areas, white collar people get to work remotely from home, versus blue collar neighborhoods like C and D, they don't get to work from home. They are labor intensive jobs. So many of them have been laid off. So these areas have been hit the most. Then remember, access grade deals off market, okay, where you have a lot of equity. Then pull up the comps within the last 6 months, which I'm gonna show you in the next live demo, how to pull up comps to come up with your ARV. Remember the 30%, the 70% rule of thumb to compute your max allowed offer. Right there, the example, ARV times 70 minus the rehab. Next, this works amazing. From your purchase price, you need to add 100,000, and that should be your ARV. Like in the example I gave you, we buy it for 120, the property appraises for 250. You have over 100,000 in a spread. It's an awesome deal. You are going to be able to do a flip, a rental, a wholesale, anything. So look for 70 to 100,000 spread. This is huge. Okay, guys. Next, to compute your rehab expense, very simple. Another rule of thumb: take the square footage, multiply that by $25 to $35. That's going to give you a very accurate rehab if the rehab is light to medium, right? So you're not doing like a new roof, new windows, new foundation, new plumbing, new electric. It's just, you're just doing cosmetic, right? Painting, updating the kitchens, the bathrooms, light fixtures, flooring, that's about it. Next, present the deal to get it funded. So I'm gonna show you that demo in the next segment, because this is so critical for you to pull comps and create a one-page presentation to get funding. And finally, we're gonna do the blast email to the network to help you wholesale the deal to cash buyers, okay? So again, that's a Blue Angel feature. This is so critical for you to follow. Isn't that awesome and cool, friends? Okay, so now let's continue. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So let's continue. I'm gonna give you maybe 1 minute break so you can take a sip of water or something before we get into the next segment, okay? So just take a minute and then we're gonna get into rentals. That's gonna be the most important segment of today's topic. So again, the 3 keys for you to get off to a fast start: access great deals, get funding. We're gonna show you how to present your deal, and then follow proven scope of work and hire top broker to sell your flip. Okay, so let's get going, guys, and then let's start with the most important segment of today. So this is what we're going to show you today. So you're going to show you how to build $1 million empire. That is so critical. That's how you're going to get out of the rat trap. Okay, so this segment will cover everything that you need to know on it. So are you guys ready? So let me just start off with the pros and cons of buying and holding your properties. Okay, so let me just put them all right here. First of all, you're gonna have passive income ongoing. Your net worth is going to increase. Why? Because property values go up in value every single year. Now the cons are vacancy, but you can avoid vacancies if you invest in the right rental market, and then management and legal issues with tenants, right? So that's just part of the business. But to me, the cons are super light compared to the benefits, okay? So next, pros and cons, okay, for buy and hold. Let me just put them all up on the screen. High returns, not so much pressure, steady passive income, and pride of ownership when you own rentals. The cons is fluctuating market conditions like right now, but if you don't sell the properties, it doesn't really affect you much. But again, dealing with tenants is always a challenge. Management issues, lack of good tenants, okay? Therefore, when we talk about property management, we're gonna go over some of the tips for you to get really great tenants. Next, rentability. So this is so important, okay? What makes a great rental market? A great rental market is a rental market where the property values are still below 200,000 and the rents are very high. There's a 1% rule of thumb. So if you buy a property for 150,000, if it rents for 1% of that, which is 1,500, is gonna cash flow all day long. Very simple. So you've gotta buy rentals in rental markets. Again, rental market is where you have very high rents and the property values are still very reasonable, under 200,000. Because you don't wanna buy properties that are super expensive and yet collect high rents, because the numbers are not gonna work. But don't worry, we're gonna give you the top rental markets, okay? So we have a spreadsheet, we put together the top rental markets, and we have them by the suburb and also by in the city, okay? So while that comes up, let me give you the insider secrets to the foreclosure process, because when you buy rentals, you have to understand off-market foreclosure process. Okay, it is so critical. So let me go into that slide. On mute, I was unmuted. So let's dive into the foreclosure process. So guys, very important for you to understand right now, so you can hear me perfect. So you have judicial and non-judicial estates. Illinois is a judicial estate. So why do you care about this? Judicial estates means that they have to go through the court system to foreclose on the owner, which means that if they go through the court system, it's gonna take about 2 years to foreclose on the owner. So look at this, all the non-judicial estates or the gray estates, they can foreclose on the owner in less than a year. And why? Because they don't need to go through the court system. Illinois, that is why all the blue states will always be lagging behind, because they will recycle the distressed properties back into the market in no less than 2 years versus the other ones, okay? So now let's go over the foreclosure process. So we're gonna take the example of a high equity property where the owner owes $50,000 and the property is worth 150. So it's a step in the foreclosure process. Somebody misses the payments, right? 30, 60, 90 days go by, boom, the bank is going to file a lawsuit against the owner in the court system. So the owner is officially in pre-foreclosure. So you are going to get notified about these leads in DealVault. Why is this a great deal? Because you can buy this property, high equity, for $75,000, okay? 50 cents on the dollar from the owner directly. You have no competition. You get to see the property from the inside. Not only that, but you can fund the deal with hard money lender, private money lender. Now, if you don't take action, guess what? 6 months, 7, 8, 9 months go by, then the judge is going to issue what's called the notice of trustee sale, which means the date of the auction at the courthouse. So the judge is going to say, it's been long enough, your auction is going to happen for them to win their credit. So at that point, guess what? You also get notified about upcoming auctions, which is huge because these people are going to be extremely motivated because in 45 to 90 days or so, they're going to lose their home. So they're going to be extremely motivated. Unlike pre-foreclosures at the first stage, they might still be in denial. So by far, this is my favorite lead pipe. Again, you can pay 50 cents on the dollar, zero competition. You get to see the property from the inside. You can fund the transaction. So you will never overpay for the property. And then the auction comes, the judicial auction. This is where you don't want to buy the properties because you have to pay cash for it. You buy sight unseen. It's like a Shark Tank. You have a lot of investors bidding for the property. You don't want to buy here. And then if nobody buys the property at the judicial auction at the courthouse, it becomes the bank's asset. So it's called shadow inventory or REO. So here you can buy them directly from the bank if it's a small bank, but you're not going to pay $75,000 at this point since the bank already went through the foreclosure process. It costed the bank money. Not only that, but the carrying cost of holding the property and not getting any mortgage payments, then you're not going to get it for 75. You're going to get it for maybe 90, 100,000, but you're going to still get a great deal. And listen, guys, the bank is not in the real estate business. They're in the lending business. So they're going to get rid of the property. How are they going to get rid of the property? Very simple. They're going to give it to an REO broker and they're going to send it to the auctioning platforms. So it's going to be on the MLS and in the auctioning platforms, Hubzu, auction.com, and so forth. At that point, everyone sees the property, right? So you're gonna end up paying $145 for the property. So you either intercept the property at the pre-foreclosure or upcoming auction, or you buy it directly from the bank. When you buy it from the MLS or at the auction, you most likely will overpay for the property. There are exceptions, but you need to be very seasoned and savvy investor. But if you're an ordinary investor, please intercept the property beforehand. Or right here in ChicagoDealVault, we have all the pre-foreclosures, over 40,000, upcoming auctions, shadow inventory. So we have all these properties that are technically not for sale. Probates, these are huge leads. So we give you the data so you don't have to overpay for the property. So now that you understand the foreclosure process, let's move on to this. This is just mind-blowing, super powerful, friends. What if, listen to this, what if you could be first in line and you could buy properties directly from the bank, 60 to 70,000 below? What if you could do that, guys? Imagine, guess what? It's a reality. So this is going to be you. This is a reality. And that's how we've been getting amazing deals. So let me give you an example. This property in Mount Prospect, it's in the auctioning site zone. Right now, the active bid is 198. This is Mount Prospect. It's an A area, great area. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, finished basement, huge garage, one car garage, huge yard. This property is worth 280. That's it, 280. It's an A area. So right now, the BV is at 198. And guess what? There's still 1 day remaining. So this property is going to go for over 200,000 because it's worth 280. And guess what? This property doesn't need much work. So imagine if you could buy this property for 160,000. Can you imagine that? Do you think it's even possible? Guess what? It's totally possible. Let me show you this. Okay, so this screenshot was taken February 11th. So this property, let me just give you the rundown. It's a foreclosure. I mean, the bank took over the property. So the ARV is about 280. The most you should pay for this property, assuming it needs cosmetic work in the amount of 30,000, you shouldn't pay more than 173 for the property, even if you're going to do a rental. So the bank took it back from the courthouse. The starting bid was 159, and it ended up going to the bank for 159. But right now, the bank is putting in that in ZOM. The existing or current bid at the time was 198. So guess what? What we did is we stood up first in line, okay? We knocked all those people over, right? Theoretically, not physically, guys. And boom, we got it on the contract directly from the bank for $161,000. That is just amazing because we got it $70,000 less. Imagine if you could do that. By the way, we're going to close on this property, I believe, next week and a half. So imagine if that could happen to you. So we can make it happen to you. So I'm going to show you now the way we do that is because we have access to this special inventory. It's called shadow inventory right here. It's a separate tab. We get about hundreds of properties on a weekly basis that we can buy directly from the bank. Right now, we got this week 842, and we can filter these by equity, by area. We know how much we can buy it for directly from the bank. There's no negotiation. So the bank tells us, this is how much you need to pay for, and that's it. But if it's a great deal, right? So now I'm going to give you our strategy, how we built 27 rentals in 2.5 years. This is by far the most important secret formula that you will ever have or hear from any investor, because this is it. This is how you can truly leverage from real estate. So you're going to buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. We call this BRRRR formula, okay? This is it. So I'm going to give you an example how you're going to be able to do that like a cookie cutter mechanism. Buy, rehab, rent, refi, repeatedly, okay? And build an empire very, very soon. So how do we do that? Very simple. So let me give you the case study. So we bought the property. This is in Cicero. This property is 4-bedroom, 2 baths, about 1,800 square feet. Now, this was, again, we bought it directly from the bank, okay? So this property had already gone to the auction.com website, okay? And as you can see, the ARV on the property is 240, okay? 240 for the property. And it was already pending. When we went on the website, it was already pending. So somebody online made an offer, but guess what? We came the back door, again, no line. We stood up in front of the bank and said, we want this property. Boom, we got it for $135,000, guys. And the ARV on this is about 100,000 more, so 245. But we got it for 135, no competition. Even if it was in the auction.com website, it did not matter. So we're giving you the power to pull the properties from the back door, regardless of the competition. So now 60,000 less. Can you imagine if that would happen to you? So now what do we do next? We do the scope of work on the project. So this property needed just cosmetic work because the previous owner had done a flip on it. So they did the square footage, which is about 1,800. We multiply that by 2. So that's about 34,000. But since it was light to medium rehab, we came up with 30,000 scope of work. But friends, we knew the scope of work was going to be a lot less because it was super cosmetic work, but we always had to put a cushion into the project, into the scope of work, about 10 to 15,000 in cushion. And I'm going to show you why, because we're going to pretty much tap into that resource a little bit later. So we did the scope of work, and this is another handout that we're going to give you. This is the spreadsheet that we use to come up with a very accurate scope of work. We're going to share this with all of you. So this spreadsheet has pretty much all the segments that you need to come up with the accurate rehab, especially because we already put all the expenses, how much it would cost. So in this spreadsheet, as you can see, we go by, different areas like exterior, interior, electric, plumbing, and so forth. We tell you how much things cost. So if this applies to you, you just put the number. If not, you just put 0. Very simple spreadsheet, very easy to use. This helps us tremendously come up with a very accurate scope of work. So we're going to make this available to you. So once we did the scope of work, we bought it for 135. Rehab ended up being 12,000. Remember, the scope of work was about 30,000. So you might wonder, okay, so now the bank is going to finance 30,000 for rehab. So this is how we recycle the money. Check this out. But before we show you the recycled money, this is the existing condition of the property when we bought it. As you can see, it was in really great shape. The flooring, the paint, the windows, the bathrooms, the kitchen. So this is the new rehab. So we just painted the property. We didn't even do anything to the floor, nothing to the kitchen. Only thing is we put new appliances, okay? The countertop was like that. This is just paint, guys. Light fixtures were there, flooring, everything was there. Look at the crown molding work on this property. Bathrooms, we just put the mirror on it, but we didn't do anything to the bathroom except from painting, and the mirror on both bathrooms. This is just paint work. So we didn't spend more than 15,000 on it. And guess what? We ended up renting the property for $1,770. The principal, interest, tax, and insurance is $1,350. So we're cash flowing $420 on this property. So we're leveraging from other people's money, other people's time. This is how the wealthy get wealthier. Remember the first slide? So they buy appreciating assets. We're getting into debt, but guess what? We are not paying for the debt. It is the tenant that is paying for the debt. And not only that, but the tenant is putting positive cash flow in our pocket. This is how the wealth go back into the numbers again for this property. So now we need to refinance the property, but think about these numbers right now. So we bought it for 135, we put in 12, all in 147. ARV is 225, it appraised at 225. But remember the scope of work? We're gonna get from the bank 30,000. From the 30,000, obviously we're gonna pay 12,000, but what are we gonna do with the rest? With the remaining 16,000 or 18,000? Guess what? When you buy the property, lenders need skin on the game. So they need at least 10 to 15%. So in this case, it was a 10% down payment, which is about 15,000. So the excess money that we got from the rehab, we're gonna use it to offset the down payment, okay? Now the question is, if you're doing your first rental, where do you get the down payment from? Remember the first slide on applying for business credit cards? We have 24,000 in cash advance. So even if I get 24,000 in cash advance, right? When I get the money back from the bank on the rehab, I'm gonna use that money to pay off not only the rehab, but also any money that I borrowed, okay, for the down payment. So this is the secret sauce, guys. Now the property appraised for 225. Now we are gonna pay off the hard money lender 150,000, right? So we're gonna tap into the equity, 66% of the equity, to pay off the hard money lender. So we're gonna end up with 77,000 in equity for this property, okay? Or 34% of the ARV is just equity. So not only are you cash flowing 400 a month, the tenant is paying for the mortgage and all the utilities, but we ended up with 77,000 in equity. And guess what? Over time, the equity, your net worth will continue to rise, rents continue to go up, therefore your cash flow continues to go up. That's what you need to get out of the rat race. Passive income through rentals, appreciating assets. Not only that, but you're leveraging from debt. This is what the wealthy do. They leverage from debt to buy assets that are paid by the tenants. And on top of that, when it comes to tax time, guess what? You're gonna be able to write off so many expenses, and depreciation is gonna be your best friend when it comes to taxes. So you're gonna pay very little taxes, and this is done legally, ethically, and morally, okay? That's how you're gonna start to become richer and richer every time you do a rental. This is the secret sauce, friends. Let's go on to the next slide. So my question to you is, would you like to be our next case study, right? We show we demo your property. Is that a yes or a yes, right? So now let's go on to the next slides. Now, once you fix it up, rent it up, now you need to get it ready, right, for rentals. So now to get it ready, you need to make sure that obviously it's clean, you have the lights on, open blinds. Every minor detail counts, okay? Make sure that it shows nicely, it's professionally clean. It is very, very simple to show it. Obviously, right now with the crisis, it's a little bit of a challenge. You need to have somebody there at the property to show the property for you. Sometimes when the properties are vacant, we use lock boxes, but we always have somebody show the property for safety reasons. So now when it comes to signing the lease, please make sure that you have all the documents ready. We're gonna give you all the leases, all the contracts that you need, and run background check, credit check, and eviction check that you get a great tenant. Because if you end up with a bad tenant, it's a big, big headache, okay? So we're gonna give you all the legal documents, so you don't need to worry, think, create. We have them in the handout that we're gonna give you, okay? So once you got it rented, the next question is, should I manage the property or should I give it to somebody else? Guys, this is so critical because guess who the bottleneck for your success is? Yourself. You know what I found in the last 2.5 years? That investors, they want to become a trader of all jacks. They want to do it all. No, guys, you've got to focus on talking to sellers, talking to listing agents, and making offers. That's where you're going to be making money and obviously building your rental empire. You shouldn't take on the property management. This is such a headache. It can backfire you. Plus, you want freedom of time. You don't want to hear from tenants on a daily basis when the toilet broke. Of course not, right? You need to have this managed professionally. Very simple. That's out of the question for you to manage your rentals, okay? Please, that's just my tip of advice to you. Now, if you want to do self-manage, which I don't suggest, you really need to become familiar with the law, have policies in place, have a structure, and be ready to get a lot of phone calls. So please don't self-manage your rentals. It is so huge. And then you need to worry about evictions, right? If something goes wrong, what to do, what not to do, how to serve them. That's what the property management company does. They are going to get rid of those headaches from you. Not only that, but they are going to enforce. If you self-manage the property, let me tell you the drawbacks. You're not going to be able to enforce late fees. You might forget when to renew a lease. You might not increase rents. You might not be on top of the rent roll when they have to pay. So it's just a big stressful job. If you delegate that, you're going to be time free, right? You don't need to think, work, create anything. It is just incredible. And the resource we're going to give you, it's in DealVault. The property management that we use, Secure Pay One, is just incredible. I'll show you the contact information in just a second. Property management company, boom, right here, Secure Pay One. We have it right here. And we have over 80 preferred partners right here. Everyone we use, we make it available to use. So the cool thing about this property management company is that they only charge a flat fee, right? Like $50 per unit, per door, and they get to use our contractors, because guess what? Property management companies own your properties because they're gonna upcharge you for the repairs. We figured that out. So we want property management company to deal with the headaches of the phone calls, the tenant relationship, all the legalities, and we want them to use our contractors, right? So that's how we preserve our budget and save money. So that's just our recommendation. Now, next, live demo for the rental. Okay, so in the rental, obviously, we gave you the hot rental markets, access great deals, analyze them, fund them, fix them, and then buy and hold. That's the true secret for passive income and wealth in real estate, friends. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back to DealVault and just continue where I was showing you. I'm gonna show you in 2 minutes how I'm gonna prepare the deal to get it funded. This is huge for a flip or for a rental. So I'm gonna piggyback on this deal that we found on Bolingbrook. Okay, Bolingbrook is a great rental market. So what I'm going to do is, this property has a lot of equity. So they owe $30,000, it's worth about $190. So the first thing that I'm going to do is check the location, right? If the location is good, location seems good. I mean, it's nowhere near train tracks, cemeteries, rivers, busy roads, anything that is gonna kill your deal. So 3 things that you need to get right when analyzing a deal. ARV, right there. We give it to you, but we're gonna give you the option to control that. So we're gonna pull some comps in a second. The rehab estimate is just an estimate, assuming the rehab is light to medium. Most importantly, we tell you how much to pay for the property. So you never, ever overpay for the property. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna create a 1-page presentation for deals. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some comps. So all I need to do is just click on search. I go to the scroll down to the comps. We're accessing the MLS live, okay? So we're gonna go back 6 months, pull comps of properties that are 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and boom, we got 2 properties right here. So I can click on the property just to see the details. And then we plot them on the map. As you can see, the subject property is the blue icon, and then we have 2 comps right here. Very, very fast. So now the ARV on this property, this is one of the comps, 180, it's sold in 4 days. It tells you how hot Bolingbrook is. Bolingbrook is super hot. Population growth is 32% in Bolingbrook. So I'm gonna quickly show you some of the pictures of these 3 bedroom, 1 bath in Bolingbrook. It's in the neighborhood. So while the pictures come up, let me go back to the subject property. So right here, look, you're looking at the pictures. It looks pretty nice. It's a stage, it's rehabbed. So it's for sure a comp. So that's what you need to make sure when pulling the comps. So right now I pull the comps very quickly in seconds. If you're a real estate broker, it's gonna take you 5 to 15 minutes to do a CMA, to pull comps, okay? So with DealVault, it takes you seconds. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, do a quick analysis on the rental. Okay, Natalia, if you can mute yourself, that'll be perfect. So now we have the rental calculator and the flip calculator. So the rental calculator, I'm gonna fill in the numbers. It's gonna take me 30 seconds to do that. We already know how much we can rent the property for. And then utilities is gonna be 0. Utilities are paid by the tenant. Maintenance, I'm gonna put 70 a month. Management fee is gonna be 50 a month. Insurance, 60. Taxes, I can look up the taxes. If I go to the owner loan tab, we're gonna tell you what the taxes are. So I'm gonna scroll down. Taxes are $4,500. So we're gonna divide 4,500 by 12. It's about 380. So 380 for taxes. Very simple. Now, how much are we buying the property for? So the most we should pay is 105 for the property. Listen, the owner owes 30,000. If we give the owner 80,000, it'll be an amazing deal for the owner, right? Before they lose the home. So even if we pay, let's assume we pay 90,000 for the property. Okay, so acquisition cost is gonna be 90,000. 1, 2, 3. Rehab, I'm gonna make it, so we recommend the rehab is going to go, if it's light to medium, 20 to 30,000. Okay, so I'm gonna make it 25,000, 1, 2, 3, and then calculate. So here's gonna tell you what your positive cash flow is going to be on a monthly basis, okay? Very, very fast. Now we're gonna do the numbers. Hey, Phil, can you please mute yourself? Phil, Natalia, please mute yourself. So right now we're gonna cash flow $650, okay? Now let's do the rental. So, I mean the flip. We're gonna sell it for 187, and then the rehab cost is gonna be about 30,000. 1, 2, 3. Okay, commission, we're gonna pay, let's say 5% commission. Utilities, you do need to pay for the utilities when you rehab the property. Gas, electric, water. Insurance, 60, taxes, 3,000. Okay, we're putting, let's say 10% down. So now calculate. So this is gonna calculate your net profit. So your net profit is gonna be like 56,000. So now all you need to do, once you did that, click on generate report. It's a one click, a click away. So we're generating a PDF right now. This is what we're gonna present to the hard money lender, private money lender. Remember when Dr. Said on the line said, I need to see ARV, I need to see successful exit, flip or rental strategy. I need to see comps. Well, it's all right here with a click of a button. So this is the property, the subject property. We have the flip. This is the purchase rehab assumption. So this is the flip analysis, right? We're gonna make 56,000 on it. And then below, we have the buy and hold. So everything that we put in, it's right here. They wanna know, this is a super important ratio, debt service ratio. It's critical. They're asking for 1.2 and above. This is 2.69. So this is gonna get funded right away. So you're gonna make 56 on the flip and you're gonna cash flow about 600 on the rental. So it's an awesome deal if you get it for 90,000. And then we show the comps right here, side to side with the pictures, the location, and any public information that we have. So the taxes, any outstanding loans, public record from 97. So we show everything the private money, hard money lender needs to know. You see that? It took us 2 minutes to generate this report. So guys, who can do that? How many of you would like to do this? I mean, just 2 minutes, boom, you have your deal already ready to get funded in seconds, okay? So now I'm gonna show you the rule of thumbs, guys. So you identify the hot markets, which we're gonna give you. Now you identify high equity deals like the one I show you. Next, you analyze the deals in seconds. Does the property have $100,000 spread? It did, right? We buy it for 90,000, it's worth 180. Then we tell you, you don't need to compute this 70% rule. We give it to you right here in DealVault. When you analyze the property right here, the 70% rule of thumb is embedded into the flip formula right here. So you don't need to even pull your calculator. We tell you how much you should pay. Next, do the 1% rule of thumb. If you're buying the property for 900, this property is going to rent for, if I scroll down, 1,600. So it's going to cash flow all day long. Next, the rehab, we computed that with an estimate of 20 to 25 dollars per square foot. Okay, so next, present the deal to get it funded. Debt coverage ratio should be about 1.2, so it totally meets that criterion. That's what the banks are looking for, private money lenders. And then the next thing is increase your net worth by 1 million in the next 2 years. So I just gave you in a nutshell how you can, the key secrets and formula for you to build $1 million empire with the formula. So you buy, you rehab, you refinance, you rent, and you repeat. That is the formula for success. Now, how do you get off to a fast start? Very simple. So first of all, again, you need to access great deals, ChicagoDealVault. Get funding. I told you at the beginning how to get a line of credit. Not only that, with DealVault, you present the deal to get it funded. And most importantly, you've got to follow the proven blueprint of financial freedom, the BRRRR formula. Please buy and repeat. Okay, can you see yourself doing these, guys? I mean, it is so simple. It's not rocket science. Can you see yourself doing this? Perfect. Perfect. Yes, absolutely. All of you can do that. We're giving you all the resources. Our team is going to back you up. Our mentors, our sponsors are here to back you up. We give you everything, the blueprint, everything for you to do this. I mean, this is how you're going to get out of the rat race. You've got to get out of that. You need to shift onto the investor side because you're going to be buying appreciating assets that are going to be putting money in your pocket. Not only that, your net worth will increase over time. Your cash flow will increase on a yearly basis. Not only that, but you're leveraging, you're using debt wisely because debt is putting money into your pocket and that debt is being paid by the tenants and your cash flow is being paid by the tenants. And guess what? You're going to be able to do a lot of write-offs, including depreciation. So you're going to be paying leveraging from debt and taxes. I want you to do that today, okay? So next, this is a big question, guys. Many people say, should I flip or should I rent? This is just a bonus that I'm gonna give you to all of you. We created a framework that is gonna tell you whether you should flip or buy and hold. Very simple. So I see that a lot of people flip when they should buy and the other way around. So now you don't need to break your head or think or anything. We created a framework. Imagine if in seconds we could tell you whether you should flip or rent. What would that be worth to you? So you don't have to worry anymore because we put together a to flip or to rent calculator. It is just such an amazing tool. Very, very simple. So let me just tell you what it boils down to. So we're just going to be able to put the numbers. When you buy it, how much you're going to rehab for and your ARV. That's all you need. And obviously the rent when you buy and hold, and the calculator is going to tell you whether you should follow. If your cash flow for the entire year is greater than your net profit on the flip, then you should buy and hold. But if your net profit from the flip is less than 1 year of cash flow, then I'm gonna take it back. If your net profit for the flip is greater, the net flip is greater than the entire cash flow for the year, if you were to hold it, then you need to flip it, okay? So I'm gonna show you how it works. So very simple. So in here, we're gonna be putting how much we're buying the property for, how much money you're putting into the property, what the ARV is, and what the rent is. And it will just tell you right away whether you should buy or flip it. And then we're gonna take the example of the property in Bolingbrook, okay? So this property in Bolingbrook, so we're buying for 90,000 and it's worth 187. So let's use those numbers in the spreadsheet, okay? So, well, this comes up in just a second. My gut feeling is that since we're buying this property for such a low price, 90,000, that any strategy will make sense. But the 10x rule of thumb will determine if it should be a buyer or a hold. So we're buying the property for 90,000. We're putting, we said about, let's leave it at 40,000 for the flip. And the ARV is 187. The one in Bolingbrook, 1, 2, 3. Now, if I hold it, I'm paying 90,000. I'm not gonna put 40,000 on the rehab because it's gonna be for rental. So 25. The rent is gonna be how much was the rent? Let me go back to DealVault. I think it was 1,600 right there. Monthly expenses. Let me go back to DealVault. The monthly expenses were 380 plus 64, 440, like 500, 550, okay? 550. So I'm gonna put 550. Actually, we're gonna leave it at 600. Right now, right off the bat, it's telling me to hold it because the cash flow is so great on this property that it tells you right here to hold it. But if we were to flip it, let's say for maybe 250, 1, 2, 3, it's a flip. Does that make sense? So if the net profit on the flip is, so the calculator is going to tell you, Phil, can you please mute yourself? Natalia, can you please mute yourself? So critical, guys. So very simple, guys. So the spreadsheet is going to tell you if your net profit from the flip is 10 times your yearly cash flow, flip it. If it's not, buy and hold. So we're going to give you this framework. And on top of that, if you click on the other tab of the spreadsheet, it's got an amortization schedule. So it's going to tell you how quickly you're going to pay off the property. With graphs, you can change the term. It's just so powerful, guys. So you don't need to think, create, work, or anything. So if you say, should I buy or flip? Boom, we're gonna give you the framework. Super cool. Now, guys, before we wrap up, I wanna give you the impact of the coronavirus on real estate, okay? Because right now we covered a lot of strategies, flip, buy and hold, and wholesale, but how do they apply to the COVID? What's happening right now? So I'm gonna quickly show you in 2 minutes what you need to do, what model you need to apply. So right now, this is what's happening. Unemployment is at a record high, 22%. 36 million people have filed for unemployment. Keep in mind, there are 320 million people in the US, half of them work. So if you do the math, 36 million is 22%. It's never been that high. Forbearance, 2 million people have applied for forbearance. So what's forbearance? The banks allow people to defer 3 months of mortgage payment. So guess what? The problem is that on the 4th month, homeowners need to come up with 4 months worth of mortgage. So that's a huge problem. Not only that, banks allowed people to take forbearance even if they were not directly impacted by coronavirus. So this is huge, guys. So when you have high unemployment, what's going to happen? Unemployment is hitting the CD areas, blue collar people. So people who work labor intensive jobs are being laid off. So the problem is that they're not able to pay the mortgage. They're not able to pay the rent. Okay.
Hello?
So what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that it's a big problem, right? For them. but it's going to be a huge opportunity for investors. So what's going to happen, guys, is that there's going to be a huge wave of distressed properties coming into foreclosure, because imagine 36 million people have filed for unemployment. That means that they are part of the rat race. They don't have a steady income. So can they pay the mortgage? Can they pay for their liabilities? I don't think so. That's a huge deal, guys. So it's a huge opportunity. In 3 to 6 months, by December, there's going to be so much inventory, okay, for investors to buy at a great price. So there's going to be a market shift. So prices have already dropped by 7% right now, but they're going to continue to drop, not drastically. Why? For 2 reasons. Right now, there's a shortage still of inventory. That's what's holding prices high still. But think about it. Interest rates are historically low, 3.5, 4.5. That makes buyers come into the pool. The cost of getting loans is very cheap. That is why they are getting into the buying segment. But this is the thing. Banks are now being more strict. They're asking for higher requirements like 700 FICO score, 20% down payment. So that's going to leave a lot of buyers out of the equation. So what does that mean for you then? We said there are going to be more buyers, but here, this is the problem. They're going to be so restricted, right? So that leaves a huge opportunity for investors, for us. So right now, you need to avoid flips because they're going to sit on the market. Stick to rentals that make sense. Importantly, always wholesale for sure. Put it as part of your portfolio. Save 20% of your income because you're going to need liquidity, okay? To buy properties, to get line of credit, you're going to need liquidity. So please save 20% of your income and focus on small projects, small rentals. Why? Because you need to be in and out, just like the projects I've shown you. The flip that we did 3 weeks in rehab and 3 weeks in market time. The property in Cicero, it was a 2-week rehab. You have to be in and out, especially because when all these properties come in the market, prices are still going to adjust. They're going to come down a bit, not much. So when you try to refinance, if you don't have the back-end value, the back-end ARV that you expect, you're gonna have troubles refinancing, okay? So that is why you need to be in and out quick so that it doesn't impact the price changes that we're experiencing right now. So right now, it's the perfect time for you to sharpen your skill set, yourself. That is why we're running this bootcamp to give you everything you need, guys, so that you can pull the trigger when the opportunity comes, like rentals right now. Rentals is the way now. It's been the way to go, and it's going to be the way to go in the future, guys. So please continue to do wholesales and avoid flips right now. If you have flips, please try to sell them whatever cost. You need to minimize your losses, okay? They're not moving. So this is in a nutshell what needs to happen. I'm gonna quickly summarize. Due to the coronavirus and unemployment, forbearance, a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of foreclosures are coming down the pipe. Be ready. This huge wave of foreclosures is gonna come down the pipe, which is gonna cause a market shift. Prices are gonna adjust, which means bigger opportunities for you, right? But at the same time, banks are getting smarter. They're restricting lending, so you need to have liquidity. Savings are going to be critical. Your credit score, keep it above 700, and start doing rentals. If the numbers make sense, please stay within small projects, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, simple, boring houses. Even if no basement, it's okay. Ideally, brick. Under 1,700 square feet, okay? Avoid big houses, huge gut rehabs. Forget about those. You can lose your shirt, okay? So now next. This is what you will have happen for you guys after this bootcamp. You will be able to identify hot flipping and rental markets. Number two, you're gonna have a great abundance of home run deals with huge equity. You're gonna be able to connect with sellers directly. Remember, we skip trades and we give you the contact information. You're gonna get your deals funded. You're gonna be able to present you deals to get them funded. So in DealVault, we have over 6,000 private money lenders like Dr. Saeed. So in here, over 6,000 private money lenders, okay? It's huge. So we're gonna make sure that you get your deals funded. Plus we have a lot of hard money lenders available to you right now. The list that I gave you has 22 hard money, 1,000 cash buyers in DealVault to sell your wholesales for top dollars. You have access to all our team, our preferred partners, our mentors, our sponsors, over 80 people at your fingertips, okay? From ChicagoDealVault. And most importantly, you're gonna be able to have more time with your family, more money, more happiness, which is my objective. That is why we run these events. So isn't that exciting, guys, that you have now the blueprint of freedom, not only financial freedom, but freedom of time. But let me tell you, if all this was to give you the final push to make you more successful, would it be worth it, guys? Is that a yes or a yes? If all this was to give you the power to do what's truly meaningful in your life, which is, spending time with your loved ones, would it be worth it? Is that it was to give you just one home run worth 40, 60, 70,000, would it be worth it? Just one a year. Is that a yes or a yes? Just like the properties we're buying, 60, 70,000 below. So guys, next. What's one home run deal worth to you? Like the one I showed you, right? The Mount Prospect property we're buying for 70,000 less. To me, that's $70,000 worth, that home run deal that we're buying. So money replenishes, right? Most people, they get paid every 2 weeks and they live paycheck to paycheck. So money comes back every 2 weeks. However, guys, time does not replenish. Time disappears. So you can go out and spend months, years of your valuable time away from your family trying to figure all of this out. But instead, you should save that time and effort. Why? Because we have spent that time and effort already and worked directly with us. It's going to require a small investment on your part, but you're going to get that money back. Whereas the time spent away from your family in trial and error is wasted effort and is gone forever. Okay, so very critical. Time does not come back. So guys, before we wrap up, how many of you have learned at least one thing today? How many of you have been reminded of at least one thing today? I mean, I'm blown away. We have 100 people online right now as we speak. So I'm super proud of all of you for sticking to the end. So we're going to give you a gift, as I told you at the beginning. We're going to give you the handouts. We're going to email the handouts, all the legal documents, everything. I'm going to show you what we're going to give you now for sticking till the end. So before we do that, I want to introduce the $1 million blueprint. So of success, how you can do this yourself. So this is what we're going to give you guys. So we have DealVault and all the resources. So right now, I want to make sure everyone is muted. Phil, can you assist? Everyone should be muted, including yourself. So we have the monthly or the Lamborghini package, right? But we created the Blue Angel package. So pretty much we're going to get everything that we showed you in DealVault, all the off-market leads, the bank-owned properties, the pre-foreclosures, probates, upcoming auctions, vacant properties. You're going to be able to do the comps, cash buyers, private money lenders, over 6,000, do mailers, everything, even search the MLS through DealVault. But I'm going to add a lot of bonuses to the Blue Angel members, okay? So this is where we're going to add. We're going to give you access to the CRM, 30 days. We are going to give you, this is huge, access to the banked inventory, that you can buy properties from the back door, okay? We're gonna need to vet you. We need your entity and your line of credit, and that's it. We're gonna give you access to this inventory, which is huge, okay? This is just pretty much priceless. We're also going to give you our dedicated VA, virtual assistant, to find deals for you, okay? So all you need to do is give us all the areas that you need help with, and we're gonna have a meet and email that 2 full-time deal finders find deals, analyze them, do the PDF report that I show you, and send it to you. So even if you don't have access to time to access the system, we are gonna do that for you. Okay, next benefit we're gonna give you, we're gonna be able to partner up with you on deals. Like for instance, Dell is one of our members. He brought a deal to us. It was a great deal. He didn't have the funding. So in a matter of a week and a half, we line up the funding for him. So we're gonna do a joint venture with him. So this is huge, guy. If you have a great deal, obviously we can partner up. Successful appointment setting interview from Dan Carlton. So we're gonna give you that interview. We will also do a blast email of your wholesale deals to over 10,000. We are going to give you the top flipping and rental markets. The spreadsheets that I show you, they're gonna be yours. We will also give you the detailed scope of work that we use, so that in 5 minutes, you can generate the scope of work requested by all lenders, okay? And very accurately. Next, we're gonna give you the rule of thumbs for the flip, for the rental. Everything that we use and the pros use, we're gonna give them to you. Next, we're gonna give you the flip or rent calculator. The one that I show you, it's all yours. On top of that, we're gonna send you the recording for this webinar. Everything that I talked about today, you're gonna have that in your inbox. Okay, it's just huge value. Friends, if I was to add a monetary price to all the bonuses, look at this. It's priceless to have access to the inventory where you can buy deals 60, 70,000 less, dedicated personal assistant, partner on with us, successful appointment setting interview, blast your wholesale deals to over 10,000 people, the top flipping and rental markets, scope of work, the rule of thumbs, the flip and rental calculator, and the recording of the bootcamp. I mean, if you were to add all of this together, it's not gonna be 14,000, guys. It's priceless. And guess what? We're gonna give you these for less than the monthly package, for only $120 a month. Okay, this is billed annually, and it gets better, guys. This is even less than the cost of a cup of coffee daily. And above all, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So we're stacking up the value, right, for the bonuses, because I want to make sure there's nothing on the way standing for your success. I want to make sure that you are successful today. I want to make sure that you don't go through or make the mistakes that we've made and other investors have made. I want to make sure that you start with the right foot. So I'm giving you everything that you need to be successful, to build $1 million empire in the next 2 years. Not 3, 4, 5 years. No. I want to make sure that you get out of the rat trap today, that you start building a rental empire. That is why we put this together for all of you. I want to make sure that you really take advantage of it. On the left is what everybody does, right? So they go through a big complicated mess, which is real estate, to do a flip, or if they try to do a buy and hold. But on the right-hand side is going to be you. You're just going to go straight to the point, to wholesale, flip, or rental, buy and hold. So I want to make sure that all of you who don't have these resources, drop your bicycle right now and start flying a Blue Angel. I want to make sure that you are successful today. So now you have 2 choices, guys. You either do nothing right now, don't take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free, or your second option is you putting up this small investment today compared to all the value that we're giving you, okay? All the value that we're giving you. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, it's okay. We're going to give you your money back. We have a 30-day money back guaranteed. Okay, no questions asked. So the real question is, is it worth gambling just a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it does half of what I showed today, it's gonna pay for itself, guys. And let me tell you, I'm nothing, no one special. I was in your shoes about 2 years ago, but that's what I love about the strategies, the system, everything that I show. I don't need to think, create, or work. That's what life is all about. Life is not fair. It's never been fair. It's all about access. If you think about this, Google, Amazon, all the huge companies, it's all about access to the right information. So you have access to the right information at the right time. Guess what? You become successful. Because let me tell you, only 2 to 5% of the people who get in real estate are successful. And guess what? It doesn't mean that the rest, 95, fail. It means that they just don't make it to the level they could. And guess what? Most people think it's because of money and credit, but it's not. It's because they just don't have access to the right information. Therefore, they cannot find great deals. And remember what I told you, what successful people have? They have a great deal, they understand basic analysis, and they have funding. But they have funding because they have a great deal. So having access to the right information at the right time is what makes you more successful. Because let me ask you these, guys. Think about Andrew Holmes, for instance. He makes 100 times more money than you and I combined. But let me ask you this. Do you think he has 100 more hours a day than you and I combined? Of course not. Do you think he's got 100 more times the IQ of you and I combined? Of course not. But he's got access to the right information at the right time. That's what makes him so successful. So we cracked the code, okay? And we're giving you everything that you need to be successful today, guys. And believe me, the top guys were not so happy. I'm sharing all the secrets, all the formula, accessing to all the data. They were not so happy, right? But it's about time that we join the ranks of the top successful investors, okay? It's just about time, guys. And that is why I'm here. So breaking all old habits. Guys, I can go on with my evening today, spend time with my family. We're already successful. This is working for us, but it's not about us, it's about you. So my guess is that if you don't take action, that by tomorrow morning, you're gonna slip back into your old habits. You're gonna do what you've always done, and that's what most people would do. But because I'm your coach, your mentor, your friend, I wanna make sure that I help you break out of all those old habits and make you successful today. So if you want real lasting change in your life, you need repeated exposure to the full system. And that's what you get when you invest today. So again, this is what you're gonna get today, guys. We're gonna give you everything in the software, but I'm gonna add these bonuses, the CRM. We're gonna give you access to buying properties, no competition, right? Pulling the properties from the back door directly from the banks, okay? Which is huge, priceless. We're gonna dedicate a VA to find deals for you, okay? We are going to partner up with you on deals that make sense. We're gonna give you the interview from Dan Carlton, how to successfully set up an appointment. We're gonna be able to blast your wholesale deals to over 10,000 investors, cash buyers. We're gonna give you the top flipping and rental markets, so you invest in the right market. We are going to give you the scope of work detailed. We're gonna give you the rule of thumbs for flipping and rental, okay? You've gotta follow those rule of thumbs. We're gonna give you the calculator to flip or to rent, and we're gonna give you the recording of this session. So again, if you were to put all this together, it's not 14,000, it's priceless, guys. And we're gonna give it to you for only $120 a month or the cup of coffee a day. And this is 30 days money back guarantee. So you have nothing to lose, guys. Now, how to get started? I'm gonna send you the link for you to sign up for the Blue Angel or for the monthly. If you don't have access to DealVault, you can also get the monthly, okay? So to get the sign up, I'm gonna text everyone the link to sign up. And if you are already a member, please, Sam's gonna be able to upgrade you right now on the spot. And also, we are going to be sending you the handouts. So we have them in a Google Drive. We're gonna be sending you the handouts.